Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. Look, I'm going to settle it right now. You guys can argue one way, you can argue the other, and you can all talk past one another for the rest of your lives, and nobody's going to get shit done, so I'm going to be the guy to step in. I'm going to be the adult in the room, and I'm going to come through and I'm going to change it to this, and I'm going to say, let's all adopt this phrase, Mike Lives Matter. How about that? Let's make it about me. Everything else in the fucking world's about me, so let's make it Mike Lives Matter. If you think there's some sort of happenstance, some sorts of shenanigans out there, just look at somebody and just go, you know what? Mike Lives Matter. And people are going to know exactly what you're talking about, and everybody's going to step down. I'm the one. I'm the healer. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to give the world a Coke and keep it company. Somebody's what?
Somebody's going to want a Pepsi.
Mike Lives Matter. Literally, that's the answer to everything. I don't give a fuck. Here's a Coke for you. I really like Pepsi. I prefer Pepsi or Dr. Pepper. Mike Lives Matter. And just run away. Dump it on their fucking head so they're sticky. And then bees swarm them and fucking sting them to death. It'd be perfect.
When can I order a Mike Lives Matter shirt?
Oh, well, first of all, I would have them made if, A, I didn't think that at some point the social justice police would come after me and fucking murder me. If I make a Mike Lives Matter shirt, it better be made out of Kevlar. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'm going to get pot shots taken at me from a fucking distance. Absolutely. But that's like one of those shitty shirts you find on Facebook where they're like, Eddie Van Halen for president. You like Eddie Van Halen, right? Why not buy this shirt? And I don't know who the fuck makes those, but even if they make $1, I guess it makes sense. That must be, I just picture it being it's like three guys who look like the Duck Dynasty guys in a backyard with a printing press, and they're just rolling out fucking cheap shirts and sending people the clothing. Look, I sell a mystery shirt. I know. Oh, by the way, let's get into this. Did KC, I think KC is a guy, I don't know, because somebody ordered a mystery shirt. And it's under like a computer email address. And I swear to God I sent it, but maybe I didn't. Because I get besieged by orders from people, folks. As you know, I am just deluged by people who want mystery shirts. And we have, 2 left. So, I mean, there is still one here for you, Casey, if it was you. If it is, write me an email under your real fucking email, not under computer solution, whatever the fuck. All right, because then I'll know how to get it to you. Look, this show has just become a phone call now at this point. Literally, I'm reaching out to people. I'm calling individuals. I'm like, hi, how you doing? Hey.
We've got email.
Hey, Dylan, I've sent you year 7 and my fucking computer quit right at the end of it. So guess what? It's going to take another day or 2 to fucking get it to you because I still don't have a goddamn company where I upload all my audio because fucking Hightail bailed on me. So I'm going to start using Dropbox or whatever the fuck. But here's the thing. So Dylan ordered year 7 and it takes 26 hours to send it. So I sent it and then this morning I went and looked and Dylan's like, well, I ordered it Friday. So I get why he's pissed. I've been in the car, Dylan, fuck off. So I go online and I check the computer this morning, and year 7 is like 6 gigs. You all right? You okay? Year 7 is 6 gigs, and literally it's at like 5.5 gigs, and it's stopped. It's just stopped uploading. So now I have to resend it to you, Dylan, which I will. I will be happy to do that. And also, Mike, I know you're waiting for year 4. Did you just hear this tale of woe I spun for Dylan? Take that and apply it to your year 4 nonsense, all right? And then everybody knows they're going to get what they ordered eventually. But all of you should know that I've spent all of your fucking money. Delightful! Send me money, and then I'll spend it, and you might get your stuff. That's the slogan of MikeSchmidtComedy.com, the Joe Business page. Send me money. I might send it. I might get you, and then I forgot it already. Send me money. I will spend it, and then you'll get your stuff. There you go. That should be on a shirt. Mike Lives Matter. Look at me creating these shirts. I should create that on a shirt and then never send the shirt. How fucking great is that? Send me money. I will spend it, and then you'll get your stuff, or you might get your stuff, and then have that on a shirt. But then people order that shirt, and nobody gets the fucking shirt. Just the fucking. I'll send them the sheet music of that jingle. Because I think I hit an A flat in there. Did I hit an A flat? I may have hit an A flat. Yes.
I wish I had access to a computer right now.
Okay.
Because I would go over right now and I would make that shirt on Teespring, and then if 20 people order it, they print it and send it out. That's how I did the Hollywood Burlesque Festival shirts. we may have a Mike Lives Matter shirt, and before this day is over, I will solve your delivery problem as well. That is my commitment to you.
I don't know who this person is talking because I don't have a microphone and I can't hear you. So last week was a fun experiment. I heard from people. Everyone is. People are very nice, and they all mean well. And the best part is, everybody is scared of me, which is the fucking weirdest thing in the world, I guess. Because I guess I'm not. I mean, look, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just you guys, but I got a fucking microphone and I talk. But you approach me. Like they all come up to me. You know what? I'm the podcast Nazi. That's who the fuck I am. Because they all get in line and they just want bread and they just want soup and they just want to get the fuck out of there. And then they figure if they ask me more than one question, I'm going to get fucking mad at them. But they're like, Mike, we've been listening for years and it's just, we would really like to hear Lily. It doesn't mean anything against you. I'm just like, man, what fucking niche have I carved out for myself that my own listeners are frightened of me in correspondence? I mean, because first of all, I'm never going to answer you. So don't worry about what kind of comeuppance you're going to get. If you write me, I'm going to address it here on the air. It's not like I'm going to write anybody or type them. Our buddy Todd Rush up north, he bought Stop Making Schmidt just this week or 2 weeks ago. And so I sent it. And again, it said it was delivered, but I never got a fucking email confirmation. So I had to text him because I have Todd's phone number because, we're close. And I said it to him and I go, hey, did you ever get Stop Making Schmidt? Because my computer said it was sent, but then I never got a fucking confirmation email. And then Todd, of course, because I can't believe I'm writing him, He literally writes me like 9 texts and he's like, dude, don't worry about apologizing. I get one millionth the email you get and I never answer anybody anyway. So I just want to tell you. So then I find this fucking stuff out. He bought Stop Making Schmidt like when it came out, the day it came out. And then he lost it on his computer. So he bought it again and it got lost in another file. So he bought it again last week. And then he said he found the old one. So don't worry about sending the new one. Dude, quit fucking buying shit. And I got to tell you this too. I've heard from a bunch of people who buy year 1 or year 2 or whatever, and because there's a 2-week window. If you buy stuff from me, you get 2 weeks to download it, or it expires. That's just the way it worked with Hightail. I don't know how it's going to work with this fucking new joint that Lily's lining me up with, but in the old days, on Hightail, it was fucfucking 2 weeks, and then you download it within 2 weeks, or it expired and you didn't have it. So I would get people who wrote me. I get people who write me 4 months later, and because what they were doing is they were downloading year 1, and then by the time they were done listening to it, then they'd go to try to download year 2. Like they thought they just. For some reason, people thought they were renting space on the internet with me. I mean, like, no, I got to fucking pay for that, dude. I mean, it's like you got 2 weeks to download all that shit to your computer. So people would then write me and they'd go, look, do you need me to rebuy year 2 because I went ahead? And I'm just like, no, if you bought it, you bought it. I'll fucking send it. Because again, at Hightail, it was ridiculously easy to resend. If I had to upload it for 26 hours every time I fucking send it to you, then we might have a thing and we might have to talk about it. But if you bought something from me, man, you fucking bought it. Write me and I'll just replace it. It's audio shit is easy. I mean, that's just fucking stuff I just send you. Shirts and CDs, those are hard copy things. And and who cares? If you want those two, write me. I don't give a fuck. Everybody gets everything. You know what? If you want something, send me money. I'll spend it and you might get it later. I don't know. I just made up a new. I'm keeping the basic tune. I know I'm changing the lyrics quite a bit. I like to improvise in my songs. I'm very scat. I'm very Ella. I may shatter a wine glass if you stick around. That'll be fun. So Dylan, your fucking download's coming, and everybody's. This show is just like romper. Like I said, I'm just talking out of this. And let's do this. As a matter of fact, hey, guess what?
What?
It's somebody's birthday.
What?
How fucking terrible is that? That's the show's deteriorated too. I have listeners who are very because I told you I've talked about people from the past who then disappear and I don't hear from, and I'm always like, well, fuck, I used to hear from them quite a bit. I thought they liked the show or they listened to it and now they disappeared. Or why doesn't anybody write me or call me? Why don't you write or call anymore? You don't call me anymore. You never call when you say you will, but I love you still. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up.
Build me up.
Buttercup, don't break my heart. Ba, 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 da, ba, da, 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 da. All right, so.
You don't respond. That's why they stop writing.
I don't know about all that. I respond via the voice portal of the iPod Vagina every week. I'm responding. I should have a separate podcast where I read emails and answer them that way, verbally. So because our friend Blind George, this is funny. Blind George writes me all the fucking time. He writes me every week. And he wrote me, I think, 9 weeks in a row. Okay. Then I wrote him back. And he literally wrote me, he's like, that's actually scared the hell out of me that you replied to me. Like I didn't. And I don't know if he was scared that I replied or scared because he has like a computer with a monster robot voice that has to read his shit to him because he's blind. Or I don't know if he has a nurse or a nanny or whatever the fuck he's got going on. He's a blind dude. I mean, what the fuck? Seriously, because honestly, he'd send me an email, I'd be like, that's cute, George, but you're fucking blind. I'm not replying to this motherfucker. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. Go rent some eyes that work, and maybe I'll answer your fucking missives. Quit spending time writing me and start looking for a cure. God damn it. Get the fuck away from me. So he wrote me last week, and he's like, hey, this one I need a response to, like in the thing. And so I will address this. Well, should I address it now or address it later? I don't know. Fuck it. Well, because I was going to mention the birthday. We got to do that too. All right, we will.
We'll come back.
All right. So George wrote me, and he's like, "Hey, I really do need an answer to this one." That was like in the because my favorite part is he put that in the subject line because he thinks maybe I don't even read his emails or something. I read all your emails, Blind George. Again, I don't quite understand how you make them. I still don't understand the technology involved. All of a sudden, you're like the fucking $6 million man, and you use your powers to send me notes. That seems fucking weird. If you're like a blind superhero, go fucking clean up Hell's Kitchen. Don't write me a goddamn email. I mean, honestly. It makes no fucking sense. Use your honed-in bat-like radar to find out where crimes are being committed and swoop over in your red leotard and stop them. Why would you sit down and write me a note about a fucking dumb show? But good for you. So, are you spacing them out? Someone wants a photo of that, actually.
Yes, I know. So I figured I'd make a little audience for you.
Oh, good. I appreciate all of our jokers are being spread out, folks. Don't forget Travis. All right, good. Hi, fellas. Now you're not fucking Tarantino over. What are you doing?
Just keep talking.
No, I can't because you're distracting me with all of your fucking moving shit around.
Not distracting. You are.
I love that you say you're not distracting. You were earlier today. You were sitting here yelling about bombs and shit in my fucking house, and now you're going ahead and cleaning up the fucking table. Lily comes in here and she says, "So I don't understand you, man. Like Lily fucking just brawls on the internet with people all the time. She goes on and she fights with people all the time about what's going on and who's doing this and where they're going and why they're doing this. Why you're not even really taking a photo, are you? That seems ridiculous. Shouldn't it be from this angle, or are you just going to get all their heads watching me? Oh, okay, good. Well, then let's get the Hulk in there too, then. All right, then they're in a fucking circle. Let's get the Hulk out of there. God damn, take a photo. I should cut all this shit out, folks. You have no idea. Now there's going to be a visual accompaniment to the show. It's going to be the photo of the moment that the fucking whole podcast went off the goddamn rails. So Lily comes to my house and she's just answering emails from people about fucking justice and bombs and all sorts of nonsense. And here's my favorite. She's like, she read some report, I guess, from the Dallas. Look, I don't know if you folks are aware. Some stuff happened in Dallas last week. Did you guys know that?
Really?
Again, and I guarantee if someone would have just gone, hey, you know what, Mike Lives Matter, it would have been perfect. Someone would have gone out and said, Mike Lives Matter. It would have cleaned up the whole thing and nothing would have been a problem. But apparently in Dallas, there was a guy who had some things to discuss with some people, and he had some issues that he wanted to bring to light. And so what he did was he strapped himself with about 47 weapons, and he went out and just started pot-shotting. That's what he did. He decided to himself, you know what? I'm tired of sitting in the house and looking at the internet and thinking that I can't solve these things. What I need to do is get as many weapons as I possibly can and go out and start shooting people. Guys, that's the plan, right? And you know what the thing is? That doesn't even sound so far-fetched. That is the plan for a lot of people right now. But I warn you, a new precedent was set in Dallas. If you want to go out and grab an AR-15 or an M116 or a fucking AK-47 or an MS-40, you want to get out there and fucking tune up a town and ventilate a bunch of fucking cops or passers-by, you better be prepared. Because the cops have called George Lucas and they're going to send fucking R2-D2 carrying a bomb after your ass. Fucking BB-8 is going to roll in looking all cute and you're going to lean forward and go, oh, look, it's Wall-E. And you're going to get fucking blown to bits, goddammit. And you know what I say? More power to them. God damn it. Starch these motherfuckers with a bomb robot. That's the natural progression of things.
No, it is not the natural progression.
Lily, I think Sean Connery said it best. He brings a knife, you bring a gun. He brings a gun, you bring a bomb-carrying R2-D2. That's what Sean Connery said.
I don't think
Cannery? I just called him Sean Connery.
It's not. Maybe that's what Sean Connery said.
It is.
No, that's not right.
He brings a knife, you bring a gun. He brings a gun, you bring an R2-D2 carrying bomb robot. I'm Cuban. I don't know who the fuck I am. But that's fucking gorgeous. That's just fucking dude standing. Because again, what's he doing? He's hiding behind a bunch of things and he's writing on the walls and he's like yelling at them and he's like, haha, you guys can't get me. And they're like, oh, really? Candygram for Mongo. That's exactly what fucking happened. He thought he was all tough. He's shooting people. He's laughing. He's hopping around. He's like, yeah, I'm totally taking care of business. I'm a star. I'm on TV. Candygram for Mongo. Mongo like candy. Boom! Sit the fuck down. Hey, you want to shoot a bunch of people? That's great. By the way, Wile E. Coyote sent over some cigars.
That's not what
We're going to scrape you off of the fucking walls in Austin, you motherfucker. You want to come out here and play a game and shoot a bunch of people? That's fucking great. We'll look for your liver in Fort Worth.
Oh, no. Civil rights violations, all of those things, no bad.
I look, yes, ostensibly I am on the side of all civil rights people, and I want them all to be dealt with in the proper way. But I've got to be honest with you, if you're strapped to the fucking teeth with weapons and you've already killed like 8 people, the proper way is to send the robot from Lost in Space after you with a bomb. Danger! Danger! Warning, Will Robinson.
No!
Put down the 4 assault rifles, lest we splatter your ass to Galveston.
No!
And Glenn Campbell writes a fucking song about you.
No.
Fuck that. I'm sorry. Look, again, I'm Team Hoodie. I'm Team dude in LSU or Baton Rouge selling fucking CDs, pinned down by 2 cops and and then shot in the chest at close range for in my opinion again. And yes, I know, Zach, you're going to write me and go, hey, dude, you don't understand what it means when someone has deadly force and there's a pocket gun, and I don't fucking know, and I don't care. All I know is I saw the fucking movie, and that dude got blasted on the goddamn ground while he's just laying there fidgeting. And look, so I send those motherfuckers to jail, send fucking, and I don't even remember, where was the other one? Where was the next one? Oh, fucking Minnesota. Yeah. Send that idiot to jail. I gotta be honest though, I feel good about the fact that all cops are me after they shoot somebody. Fuck!
Yeah, no doubt.
Fuck! That was Lou the racist bartender. I don't know if you guys heard him. He literally walked up to his window right when I yelled it, and he stopped and looked in, and I go, well, I got to do it a second time. I mean, I can't, And I committed to the second yell, and I don't know if you heard him, but he went, fantastic. And you know what, honestly, if you hear what I was talking about, he'd be like, yeah. But then if you heard why I was supporting against the cops, he'd be like, no.
Pretty much.
But again, every cop, when they shoot somebody, immediately turns into me. Fuck!
Yeah.
They just start screaming. And here's my favorite part of that fucking, it's not even my favorite part. It's just the part that I found astounding. Look, I got a favorite part of all these shootings. I'm not going to lie to you. When they shot the dude in fucking Minnesota and he's in his car, he's dead. And his girlfriend is filming. And all of you motherfuckers who come online and you're like, well, what? We don't see what went on before the camera went on. Well, you know what happened? That guy got shot 4 times. That's what happened. I mean, anything short of him pulling a gun out and going, Wild, Wild West, motherfuckers. He didn't deserve to get shot 4 times.
Yep.
You know the other argument I like? Well, I don't know how she could just sit there and not help him and just film that whole thing. Because I got news for you. If she blinks, they're shooting her too. And her daughter. And her little dog too.
One of my friends wrote, he might have been mouthy. And I'm like, oh yeah, that explains it.
Well, he probably was mouthy. That's why he only shot him 4 times instead of 6. If you got a gun, you got to put 6 in him. You mouth off, well, it's only 4. Because possibly he could live after getting shot 4 times. Man, if you're going to turn a fucking pedestrian into Swiss cheese, you better have a fucking reason. Not he was reaching, I thought, maybe. Fuck! I don't know. Again, I'm not in those life and death situations. I was a bouncer. That's as close as I got. I got punched in the face at a fucking Everlast show, okay? And then I fucked a dude up by breaking his ribs. I had a guy put a gun to my head outside the House of Blues. Literally, I heard it click. I heard him put it to my head because we ventured off property like dumb fucks to break up a fight in the street. It was me and Lavelle. And we walked out, and I got a dude in a fucking, like a half Nelson up against the fence, and I hear it, I feel it press on my head, and I feel it cocked. I hear it. And that's scary as fuck. And I literally thought, I'm dead. That was the thought that went in my head. I went, I'm dead. That was it went in my brain. And then a car screeched up, and doors opened, and everybody ran and dove into them and drove off. So look, I know what I'm talking about, is my point. No, it's not. I mean, I guess I probably would have had to catch a bullet or two to have a fucking opinion on this. I don't know. But I don't know the solution. I don't. Don't shoot anybody? Is that a fucking good solution? I don't.
Don't blow people up.
No, I'm all for blowing guys up. Bullshit. No, that's next level nonsense. And if you're in that kind of shenanigans and you've already fucking spilled blood all over the fucking joint, then I say die hard it and send a fucking guy with the RV. Rickman's going to laugh at you and you're finished. Over and out.
That is still police execution.
Candygram for fucking Mongo.
Yeah, that didn't kill him.
Mongo?
Yeah, Mongo didn't die from his Candygram.
Mongo's a rare breed. You don't get to fucking shoot fucking 8 people in the street.
Here was the conversation. We'd been negotiating for 2 hours and we'd had 45 minutes of shootout already. We needed another solution. No, you could have kept talking. You could have waited him out. You could have tear gassed him. There are a million things you could have kept doing. But you wanted to finish it then and there. That was the choice you made. And the choice was, we're going to execute the motherfucker. It wasn't, we're going to send it in and hopefully wound him and take him to court. It was, we are going to kill this motherfucker right now. You're okay with it. I'm not.
I'm okay with killing that dude. He killed 8 people and he's fucking around. He's writing in blood on the walls. What's that guy going to do? What you're going to take him to court?
So he's writing in blood on the wall. How about the other crazy guy who the mother is going, he's crazy. He's not trying to hurt you. He's just crazy. And they put 4 bullets in him anyway. You don't get to execute crazy people in this country either.
I don't know if I'm on board with that.
You're wrong.
It's a joke. You think I really want to kill crazy people?
I don't know.
I thought you'd laugh. I didn't realize you were in fucking full-on warrior mode.
I'm in full-on civil rights mode,
Look,
man.
yeah, but I'm sorry. You forfeit your civil rights if you shoot 8 people in the fucking street and you laugh about it.
Not until you've been tried and convicted.
If you
Then
can take him that way,
executed.
he was not going to be taken that
How
way.
do you know they didn't try? 2 hours of negotiations?
He called me.
Please, they negotiated at the Branch Davidian place for longer than that.
Yeah, well, and then they kill everybody. Right? Right?
Branch Davidians didn't kill everyone. Our government killed them again.
Good. Let's do this. We need to bring back.
executed.
We need to bring back the fist of justice and start killing more
Oh
people.
my
That's what we
God,
need to
fist
do.
of justice.
I don't care. The point is, I have no idea. I got no idea what's going on, but I do love the idea of Candygram for Mongo and a robot with a bomb. I mean, it's if there's a dude and he's fucking spinning off the fucking planet and you can't fucking neutralize him, you got to send in the fucking robot with the bomb. That's the way to do it. Let's put it this way. I'll say this. I do have a problem with a country where a police force has a robot with a bomb.
Oh, there you go.
I think that's a little fucking bananas. You know what I mean? Every time, I mean, I saw those fucking clips from the people out in Baton Rouge and they're in the street and cops show up with a tank and a bunch of dudes in fucking body armor. It's like, you're 26th in the nation, or what was it? 26th overall. That city I think is like 26th overall in Louisiana for amount spent per pupil in school. But you can afford that body armor? You can afford to buy Batman costumes for all your fucking cops?
And a tank.
And a goddamn tank that then they roll into people. And then they fucking go up on private property and they rip people out of it and they throw them in jail. Yeah, that shit's all fucking wrong, man. That's got to go. That's got to
You're
go.
okay with Candygram for Mongo.
I'm totally on board with Candygram for Mongo.
We all have a line.
Cops need to stop shooting people. People need to stop shooting cops. I mean, all that shit's got to happen. No, we got to stop shooting gorillas. Gorillas got to stop yelling at me. Whatever the fuck. Everything. Let's end it. Mike Lives Matter, goddammit.
I love you.
So, I mean, look, can we just stop? Let's just all stop. That's it. Let's just stop doing everything at all. Let's all, you know what? Let's just go to businesses that haven't asked for us to be there and take photographs of ghosts. Can we do that?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I want to play Pokemon Go so bad. Like, I want to do it. I think it sounds fun. I think it sounds really neat. And then Lily comes over and she's like, do you know how much I hate Pokemon Go? And I'm like, what? Why? She goes, because people come to my establishment and they take photos of these things that aren't even there. And then they're way to take pictures of performers that didn't consent to be performed. I'm just like, holy God, I didn't. And she's right. I absolutely agree with everything you said. You're right. But I want to take a photo of a yellow guy. I mean, it's kind of fun. It sounds totally neat. You know, what would be actually funny is if the dude in Dallas took a picture of the robot with the bomb and posted it first, and he thought it was a Pokemon, like when it came in to kill him. That's Bombio, or whoever the fuck it was. Bombachu. Jiggly Bomb. Bombily Puff. See, it doesn't sound so bad then, right? Now you're on board.
I'm not on board.
We better send in Bombily Puff.
I started thinking about the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, they were catching her at the Holocaust Museum. Yeah, oof, that's rough.
And it was the gas spewing one, which is even worse.
Yeah, that's not smart. You know what? Well, if you're going to do that, do it right. Send 6 million Pokemon to the Holocaust Museum. Honestly, if you're going to do that, do it that way. Yeah, because then you're just like, you know what? We get it and we're sorry. And just send because then people are their photo. Because you know what? Because then people go and they go, oh, look, a Holocaust Museum. Because look, nobody's going to that fucking thing. Nobody's going there because they're like, that's depressing and boring. But if you throw Pikachu in the middle of it, you're like, all right, I can deal with Auschwitz. As Pikachu's in here to take a photo of.
No.
Because it's, again, that's what they should do, is send them to sad places. Like, send them to like a cancer ward in a children's hospital. And guys just walk in, you know, but the thing is, you got to bring a stuffed animal, and then you take pictures of all of them that you want. Although, a kid with cancer is probably going to look at a little fucking Pokemon himself, unfortunately. That's going to be sad. Well, I mean, he's been in there forever. He's all fucking, he's got no cells. He's all fucking messed up. And then that's what I'm saying, is like, the people will take a picture of him, and he'll be like, dude, I'm totally like a kid here chilling out in the cancer ward hoping to survive. And they're like, sorry, I thought you were a googly puff. But if you're a little kid, you know what? Oh, let's do that. Let's take all the kids in the cancer ward and put like little Pikachu hats on them and then just take photos of them. See, this is perfect.
Oh my God. This is so wrong.
No, because like, these people aren't getting visitors. Now we send them visitors. Now these people come in and they take photos of them and everybody's happy. Bring them like ice cream sandwiches and fucking and toys, and then take photos of them and go, look, a cancery puff.
The name of the show.
Look, it's Carcinoma Chew. All right, so I don't even know how the fuck we got into that.
Man.
But I got no problem with Candygram for Mongo. I'm on board. I'm on board.
We disagree.
We do.
Vehemently. And we do not agree to disagree. We disagree.
I don't like agree to disagree.
I hate that.
I don't care for that. If we disagree, we disagree. I don't need to agree with you to disagree. I don't need your fucking permission to disagree with you.
Respect. I just assume respect is there.
I hope
you
so.
don't have to tell me that.
Right.
That leads me to believe you didn't respect me up until this point because you got to point it out.
You know what's funny? There's phrases like "with all due respect" or "we agree to disagree." Because I always say the thing is, "You're going to hate me if I say this," but or "I know you're going to yell at me." Those are my versions of that. You know what I mean? They're qualifiers I don't need because nobody's going to yell at me and nobody's going to hate me. Nobody's going to think those things. Well, it's a little different though, and you do hate me. There's no doubt about that. Oh wait, was that a knocking at the door? You should go get it, Lily. Bommily puff. You want to talk about Yang? I'll tell you what. All right. Fucking Tweaky from Battlestar Galactica comes in here and fucks you up.
And they didn't even send him in with an exposed bomb.
I think Tweaky was on Buck Rogers.
Oh.
Bitty, bitty, bitty. Buggy.
That was a horrible robot.
Oh, whoa, terrible. He's going to walk in with a bomb. Just blow him up. He doesn't even go. He doesn't get to blow anybody up. Just blow up Twiggy. Bitty, 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 bitty. Buggy.
That was horrible.
It was terrible. Well, Buck Rogers was terrible. They're like, it's Buck Rogers in the 21st century, and he's wearing like a fucking dress shirt from Arrow. It's like, what the fuck? You don't have any modern space clothes we can give this fucking guy? Fuck Gil Gerard. God, I'm old.
I would have.
Would you have really? You would have rampaged Gil Gerard?
In a weird way.
What if that robot Tweaky vibrated? Would you have put him between your legs, even though he talked weird like that?
No, but I bet his voice would have vibrated between my legs.
Bitty, bitty, bitty. Muggy. That's how he talked. But yeah, if he comes rolling and like, yeah, fuck that. You know what? I invented this bullshit with bringing your soup. I invented a robot that brings soup. The cops are like, you know, it's a good idea. What if soup was bombs? Hear me out. There was a fucking city council meeting in Dallas. They're like, you know what? We heard this dude talking about a robot bringing people soup. And they went, hear me out. Just a second. Instead of soup, what if the robot brought bombs? And the idea would have died in committee if it wasn't for this guy shooting up the city. And they went, what fuck? We got to get that robot bomb thing. And then, this is what people don't realize. The first robot they sent in had soup. He's like shooting people and shit. Actually, 2 more cops were shot because they sent in the soup robot instead. And they went, yo, I literally like fucking, the guy took off his captain's hat and hit the other guy like Gilligan. You dummy. The bomb robot. Nobody stopped the mass shooting with clam chowder. I ought to fucking pound you. Actually, when they sent it in, this is the mistake they made. They sent in the Manhattan clam chowder, and then he shot 2 more cops. Because why the fuck not? I'll tell you what, if anybody gives me a bowl of Manhattan clam chowder, I'm going to apply for a gun license, and I will go through the waiting period just to come back and shoot them in the fucking face. Fuck Manhattan clam chowder. Why? Why make a red-based soup out of a white-based fucking brilliant soup? I don't like it. And it's not a New York, Boston thing. I just like fucking white clam chowder. I like the idea of putting a hot, viscous, white liquid in my mouth. Shut up! All right. What are we talking about before we get into all that bullshit? I don't even know. We have a birthday!
Yeah.
This guy, he's so happy to have his birthday mentioned on the fucking same show as the day I advocated blowing people up with fucking bombs. All right, so our... we have listeners that listen to the show, and like I said, they drop off. They come back, they drop off, they come back, and there are people I'll think to myself, man, I used to hear from that person a lot, or I didn't, or I met them, or I did not hear, whatever the fuck. But they're out there, and then I find out later that they're still listening, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. I mean, because I haven't heard from them since year 6 or whatever. But there happens to be a couple of people, 2 people, a couple. There are a couple of people, but also they're a couple. They're together. They're married. And I heard from one of them this week, and she was like, I don't know if you know this. And of course I went, who is this person? I don't know who you are. And of course I don't know this. But basically it's our friends Seth and Tracy Brazil. And I think it's Brazil. Because it's spelled Brazeal. So it sounds like it should be Brazil. Which I guess is the way you would say it if you were in Brazil. Brasil! Campeões del mundo! But Tracy Brazil wrote me. Tracy Brazil? Tracy Brazil. Brazil. She wrote me and she's like, hey, do me a favor. I know you don't remember us, but we've seen you twice in San Francisco. We brought you a jersey and a ball. Now, first of all, don't give me your poor mouthing nonsense that I don't fucking remember you. Of course I remember you. That ball is sitting here on my desk right now, and I look at it every time I broadcast. I look at it every day. It is sitting right here. It is a signed Mike Schmidt ball they brought to one of my San Francisco performances. It was fucking amazing of them and something they didn't have to do. And then they topped it the next time by bringing me a fucking Phillies jersey with Schmidt 40 on the back. So, and I wear that to fucking ballparks. So please don't tell me that I don't think about Seth and Tracy Brazil every day, because I do. I think more about Tracy Brazil every day than Seth. Because I think to myself, when will she write me about Seth's birthday? It's very important. Well, it turns out that would be this week. So I'm going to give a shout out on my show. She asked me to give a shout out. I usually, look, I don't give shout outs. I'm not that guy. I'll say happy birthday, Seth, certainly. But does that qualify as a shout out?
Yes.
Really? Because shout outs seem like some weird morning zoo thing. I got to give a big shout out to Seth Brazil, bringer of jerseys, bringer of balls. Like, I mean, that's something I should do. But instead, I would just want to say a calm and respectful happy birthday to you, Seth. Courtesy of is that your phone or my phone?
No, that is your phone.
I thought I turned the little fucking ringer deal off. I turned the ringer off, but not the buzzer off. Let's go ahead and see. That was Tweaky the robot showing up with a bomb. Zzzt, zzzt, zzzt.
That is not.
Here is your soup. Here is your bomb. So hey, it's Seth's birthday. But then she wrote me. She's like, I know you don't remember us. It's like this. Why do you have to throw that in there? Of course I remember you.
People assume you don't because you meet so many people.
Well, that I do, but not everybody gives me amazing keepsakes and is a wonderful, terrific fan of this show. So when they are and they step up and they do nice things like that, and so whatever, who cares? Why am I giving her a hard time for that? She was just because literally that was her with all due respect. You know what I mean? That's I know you're gonna hate me, but we brought you a ball in a jersey one time, and I don't think you remember me, but you do maybe, and you don't. I don't know, whatever. So regardless, it's his birthday. Hey. And then she's like, I'm the worst wife because I meant to tell you this earlier, so I hope I didn't screw it up, because his birthday's on the 16th. So it just happens to dovetail. It's Friday. It's like Friday, right? I think it's Friday. So good for him. Happy birthday, Seth. But she's like, yeah, I totally screwed up. I should have sent you this earlier. And, he's going to be 35. And then she writes me back like 10 minutes later. She's, oh my God, he's 36. Look how bad a terrible a wife I am.
Oh, good for Outner.
Yeah. What the fuck am I going to do? I'm not going to read every ounce of the correspondence you sent me. Of course I am. So she's nervous writing a celebrity. Let's get that out of the way right now. She made that little math mistake because she understands. She's like, oh my gosh. Because again, like I told you, everybody's like, Mike, I'm sorry to bother you right now, but I need to tell you something. It's like, oh, you're not bothering me. It's okay. I'm going to be happy about reading your email and never answering it, but good for you. I'm glad you contacted me. So happy birthday, Seth. I guess this qualifies as a shout out, but, and thank you again for all of the wonderful gifts and all of your support over the years. And, you know what? I'm going to take this time to walk down memory lane with Seth Brazil. Hold on. I wish there was some music I could cue in there. Ding, 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 ding. I remember when he was waiting outside the Darkroom Theater and he was standing there with an autographed Mike Schmidt ball, and he came up to me and he said, sir, I'm really sorry to bother you. Can I go ahead? And because that's what everybody does when they approach me. And I said, well, fuck, Seth, look, I'm only going to take this ball and this jersey from you if you promise to have your wife write me in 4 years and say happy birthday to you. That's all I want. And sure enough, she did. And here we are. Happy birthday, Seth. I don't know what the fuck to go with that, because again, that's the shit. When I was a fucking comic, I would hate it. They'd be like, it's a birthday in the audience, will you talk about it? Because I was the MC. I had to, if I was house MCing at the Funny Bone. And I'm not equating that to this. When I did it live, it was different, because those are motherfuckers that didn't give shit if I lived or died. But these people, of course, they care if I live or die. I think. Maybe. At least. Well, she's like, as long as he gets this out, she doesn't care when I die. Because you know what? Mike lives matter. I think that's true. She understands it. She knew it. She was way ahead of the curve. Tracy Brazil was way ahead of the curve. Tracy Brazil. Way ahead of the curve. She's like, Mike lives matter. I got to contact that guy. Right. Although she only thinks Mike lives matter until I say happy birthday to Seth. And as long as this show gets posted, she doesn't give a fuck if I die afterwards. She's like, that's fine. Who cares? Seth got his shout out. Candygram for Mongo.
Oh my God.
She didn't send me a bomb. Fucking knock on the door. Yeah, fuck, I invented that. How the fuck did I not think about that until I was running downhill with this? God, I invented fucking robot delivering things. Dude. See, everybody fucking pinches from me. You got to keep it in you with Mike Schmidt. That's why, because then the networks come along and they swoop it and they fucking steal it. I don't like it. Don't care for it. So there, that's happy birthday to Seth. All right, good. Blind George wrote me. And he's like, you have to answer me this week. Please, you must. It's important. And so Blind George wrote me, and he was like, here's my question. And look, I will say, fuck, I'll get to that in a second. But Blind George wrote me, and he's like, you have to answer me this week. And he said, I know I always write you, but I really would appreciate an answer this week because I'm kind of wondering, and I hope I'm not out of line for asking, whatever he said. And he said, I wanted to know if you and Jill were still together. Aww. Because I was very happy to see that you posted pictures this week from Las Vegas. So I assume that you are, but you haven't talked about it in a while, and I'm wondering if that's the case. So if you could confirm it, that would be great. And first of all, George, mind your fucking business. All right? I don't know. Second of all, I don't know how you saw those photos. Quotation marks around saw. But I have heard from other people too who've written me, and they've said, "Hey, what's happening?" Our friend Spencer, and I mean, a lot of people have written me emails, and I found out also apparently people are writing Jill, which is interesting. I don't know why that's happening, but people do, because people they become invested in the show, and they become invested in me and my life and my happiness, and they want things to be cool, and they're looking out for me, and that's nice of them. I appreciate it. So I will say, how do I deal with this? I'll fucking just deal with it. Who the fuck cares? Jill and I are still very much together and very much in love. That's great news. Has there been stuff? Certainly there's been stuff. There's always stuff. I mean, who the fuck are you talking to here? I just advocated bombing robots with a Candygram or whatever the fuck. So of course there's going to be stuff. But I've been lucky enough to where she has not had been super bothered by all of my stuff, and all of her stuff has been parsed, and we're trying to figure out her stuff. That's what we're trying to figure out. So I took a break from talking about Jill for a while because I talked about her on the last show of year 8. And as you know, some things had occurred. There was a fight over a sandwich. There was a stomping away in anger. There was a hiding on a shuttle bus. There was all sorts of things that I talked about on that show. And things were pretty fucked up after that, you know, a little back and forth. And I will tell you this too, in full disclosure, Jill doesn't like me talking about this. I mean, she doesn't mind it, because now she's going to say that you said I don't like it, and that's bullshit. That's not. I'm just being honest here. Jill thinks when I talk about when we have things happen between us that everybody thinks that we're a lie, or that everybody. And this is my perception of it. She may have a different story, but hey, get your own fucking podcast. So I think. I think, when we've talked, she says, but then people think we fight all the time. And I'm like, well, A, I don't think they think that. And B, we kind of do fight a lot of the time. You know what I mean? It just happens. It's not really, but they're not fights. It's just disagreements. And it's like, because I'm fucking bananas and she's got her own bananas. She's got a bunch of her own, and I'm trying to peel them. She's peeling my bananas. We're trying to make it work. Because under it all, no matter what happens, I love her and she loves me. And that's the most important thing. Well, certainly.
It is.
Yes, it is. And do I walk away and hide for 5 days at a time sometimes? Yes. Does that drive her crazy? Yes. Does she take my words out of context and not think what I'm saying is the proper thing to say? Yes. And do we try to get around that? Yes. And so I talked to her and I said, listen, people don't think that we're bad people because we fight. People don't think that we're bad because we have disagreements. And she was very upset about the last show of year 8. And so I decided I was not going to talk about her on the show anymore. I just went, well, fuck it. I mean, because honestly, in my mind, I was like, well, for 51 weeks, I praised you. I talked about how fucking how much I was with you, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew how fucking close and tight we were and how I was spending the rest of my life with her. But then when something happened that I felt I had to kind of ventilate it a little bit on 52, and I did, she felt that was beyond the pale. She didn't like it very much. Because I had told her, she's like, you always said you would never hurt me. If you talked about us, you said you would never do that. And I said, well, all I did was tell the truth on that show. And it may have been my truth and not her truth, and she may see things differently than I did, but I felt like it was something I needed to do at the time. And I think we have a tenuous piece on it. So I literally decided I wasn't going to talk about her anymore. I said, because I don't want problems. But that's also a lie, because that's a lie to you guys. And it's a lie to me, because, we do cool stuff. I want to talk about the great stuff we did. But also at the same time, I've got to be truthful and talk about other shit that happens. I mean, I've never shied away from that. I've always told you, and I've owned a ton of it. Like if I do some dumb things, I'll tell you about it. And then I go, hey, fuck, I'm dumb, right? I'm kind of dumb. And I'm willing to own that part of it. It's just, she's a private figure that's been thrust into somewhat of a public life. And so it's different for her when I say, yeah, man, we got a huge fight at the fucking grocery store. She's like, don't tell people that. And I'm like, well, why? It happened. And I tried to explain to her, look, it makes us eminently relatable, because everybody fights. Everybody's got their shit going on. Everybody's got stuff that happens. It's just so happens that I have shined sunlight on all of it. And I didn't for a long time. And then it kind of erupted in episode 52 of year 8, because I just felt by that not talking about it would make it disingenuous. But we'll have these dust ups, and then I'll feel, and again, it's my own problem and I'm trying to work on it, but I will feel the only way I can gain control of a situation is to run away and hide. And I won't talk to her for like 5 days. And she's been great about being patient and hanging around and being there, and approaching me or me approaching her. And we've always made it work out. I mean, we've had nuclear fucking schisms, and then we wind up back together. So we are back together, and I anticipate we're going to be together forever. I love her very much. Will there be the Minnesota? Will that happen again? I hope not, but it might. But she told me, after that happened, she started hearing from people, and they were writing her notes and asking if we were still together. And then I guess she heard from some people who said, good riddance. Seriously. I mean, well, that's the thing, is that's what people are. When I got my divorce, when Karen left, I did the show about it, and then I heard from people who said, Team Karen, it's about time. I mean, I did go those. I got a ton of those emails. And so Jill heard from people who said, good, he was just using you. It's about time you understood, or you realized that. Someone said I was using her for her money and her looks, and not necessarily in that order.
Oh, that's charming. Yeah,
and I said, that was the one that bothered me the most, which is weird. Because that person thinks I'm ugly. Well, so I said to her, seriously, I was like, I want the screenshot of that one. That's the person I'm going to contact. That's the person I want to talk to. Because if that's a person who listens to the show and is a fan of the show and would say something like that, but not have the balls to say it to me, that's kind of fucked. And the funny thing is, all the correspondence I got was from people telling me, I hope you're okay, and I hope you're both okay, and I hope this works out because you guys deserve to be happy. Like, I didn't get it. That's what's weird about it, is she got all of the negative emails of telling her good riddance or it's about time or all that kind of stuff, and I got all the people who were just going, man, I hope you're all right, and take care of you and take care of her, and I hope everything's okay for you too, and because we're rooting for you out here. You know what I mean? Yep. So it was kind of fucking weird to hear that she got the other end of it. And I'm just like, man, I even said to her, I go, look, I'm sorry about that. I go, I don't, because one of the disagreements we'll have is someone will write something and she'll go, why would they write something like that? And I go, I don't know, because it's the internet. She's like, yeah, but why? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, but why would they say that? And I'm like, this is the third time you've asked and I have no answer for it. I can't, if I did that, I'd drive myself fucking crazier than I am now. I mean, because I obsess over fucking nonsense all the time. And so if I were to obsess over that bullshit, that's why I don't fight with ghosts. So I don't get into those fucking arguments. And I just, because I cannot contemplate even arguing with people on the internet about nonsense. It's just, I have enough conflict in my own life that I create out of my own fucking full cloth, full house. So Blind George asked, and a lot of you have asked, and so Jill and I are in love, and we're together, and I anticipate being together with her forever. I also anticipate wanting to kill her a few times along the way, and I anticipate her wanting to fucking kill me a few times along the way. But I will always, my hand is always outstretched and waiting for hers. I mean, that's how I want to be the rest of my life. I don't want to be with anybody else. I never wanted to be. I don't ever hope to be. I hope that she and I can look back and laugh at this and then fight over shoes. You know what I mean? I don't, literally, some dumb thing, or go to a restaurant and one of us is quiet and the other one's, why are you quiet? And then it turns into a fucking mess and we roll downhill and it's just fucking ampersands and asterisks and a goddamn dust cloud, and who the fuck knows is going to emerge unscathed? Nobody. Because we're both bucking bananas. But in a good way, but we both trigger each other, and there's, I've talked about it on fucking 52. So, I mean, she didn't like that very much. And she told me, she actually said, she's like, you kind of, you trashed my reputation on that show. And I'm like, I didn't, though. I said, all I talked about was what happened. Literally, I go, if that's what trashed your reputation, that's terrible news, because that's what happened. I mean, I didn't. And she's like, well, no, you didn't. She had beefs, and she's like, you didn't say this and you didn't say this. And I go, I talked about it, and I said it was as truthful as I possibly could be. She goes, yeah, but you also said, because again, the beef she has, you keep saying this happens all the time. This happens all the time. We fight all the time. And I said, honey, I love you very much, but this does happen. It just does. It'll be a thing where, and then, so we had a tenuous we got back together then, and then we didn't, and then we did, and then it's been touch and go, but there's always been love. What we have to decide is whether we can live with one another, and we've decided that we can. So we wound up going to Vegas together a couple of weeks ago. And again, it's still, there's stuff under the surface. Like, I mean, I've got issues from a year ago that are unresolved, and she has issues from 3 years ago that are unresolved with each other. And that's never good in a relationship. So we've always talked about going to therapy and going to work this out. We found this book called Hold Me Tight, and it was a revelation for me. I mean, I've read it once, and I'm halfway through it again. It is a book about emotionally focused therapy and for couples, and the way it presents itself is, connection between a mother and child is so necessary for nurturing and love, and to have a healthy human come out of that. Well, why wouldn't you feel the same way about your spouse? You're essentially strangers who come together and have to learn to love one another. So you really have to kind of focus your emotions around each other and then make it work for you. And it's a very much a style of sitting down together, and you say what bothers you and back and forth and all those sorts of things. I found it to be incredibly effective, and I read it and I'm going, this is me when I was reading it. And she read it too. I bought it for her. We both read it together. She read hers in a fucking day and a half. It took me a while. But you have to go to a special fucking therapist for it, and she has one by her. And we've had 3 appointments scheduled that we've never made because I didn't want to buy a sandwich, and she was like, what, here's $1, and I ran away. I mean, it's like whatever the fuck happened. Hey, we're going to go to therapy, right? It's going to be great. It's going to be, I can't wait. It's going to be so perfect. But first, I'm going to not talk to you for 9 hours. All right, good. Because that makes me feel safe. That doesn't make me feel unloved or unwanted at all. Good. I think you should do that. Do me a favor, sleep as far as you can away from me on the bed, to the point where you're almost falling on the floor. Because the one thing we do love is wrapping each other up and having full contact all night long. I love feeling your breath on my face as I sleep. But do me a favor, climb up into the top shelf of the closet so I'll never see you again. Would that be great? Fuck. So we've had these appointments to go, and then we haven't gone. It's like some shit has happened. Or one time it was just, I wound up having to schedule a thing where it was work. It was 2020, I think. I had to be home for it. And it just turned out to where I had to bail, and I couldn't go to that one. But the other 2 came apart because, one of us didn't fill the other's water on time or some bullshit. Again, literally. And that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. There was some little thing that became a big thing, because I'm a guy who makes little things into big things. I shouldn't. I do. But I shouldn't, but I do.
Is it because you can't fix the big things, so the little things are the things that you focus on?
Could be. Shannon and I talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, am I so just frustrated and upset with where I am in my career and wanting to be more than I am, that I instead obsess and focus on small minutia so I don't have to do those sorts of things? Am I a self-sabotager who keeps myself from success because I'm afraid of it? Who knows? Shannon and I are going through all of these things. Mondays are fun. So, I just, I'm just trying to find out who the fuck I am and why I do the things that I do. I mean, that would be good. That would be a good start. If I could just go ahead and find out who the fuck I am and why I do the things that I do and what I can do to not do them. Because that would be great. and I can't speak to Jill if she wants to do those things or if she's taking care of that. Good for her. I would love to go to therapy with her together, and we're going to go ahead and take care of that because we've talked about it over and over. So we went to Vegas together, and I will tell you, this is the truth. I'll tell you this. We didn't talk for like a week before Vegas. Like we weren't in communication really. And then I sent her a note, and I was like, look, and it's the same note that I've sent a million times. I should fucking write for a greeting card company at this point, a way to walk away and hide from your girlfriend. Like literally, I should just come up with fucking, if you want to break up with somebody, if you just want to ghost someone and disappear with like a soliloquy, go ahead and call me because I've done it a million fucking times in the past 4 years. So I wrote her a note, and it was essentially like, look, we need to understand you because we have trips scheduled. We got stuff planned. We got all this stuff ahead of us. So I'm like, look, I know that it's not what it should be, and it's whatever the fuck. I'm not even going to read it. But it was, I said, let me know what you want to do about Vegas and about the other trips. I mean, we'll get them squared away, and if I got to cancel stuff, that's fine. And I don't need to, it was all the same bullshit that I've done a million times, and I've run away. And I didn't, so I sent that to her, and I didn't hear from her for like 2 days, I think, to my recollection. So then she was supposed to fly here for like a day, and then we were going to Derek's wedding in Vegas. So she's going to be here for 2 days. But I was just like, fuck it. We were and again, we were at an impasse. I don't even remember what the fuck it was about. And it's never worth remembering what the fuck it was about. I think she talked to somebody or I talked to somebody. I don't fucking know. All I know is I was compelled to ignore her for 4 days and then write a letter like I always fucking do. Because I kind of, that's my reconnoiter. That's my fucking gathering myself. That just, if I pull away and I go, all right, reboot this and fucking, and make it work for me. But that's not fair to her. I mean, you just fucking ghost her for 4 days and just fuck. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Hi, Shannon. By the way, Shannon does not listen to this. Absolutely not. There's no way she's listening. What if she did? What if she was here? We should bring her in for this. Fuck. So I said, I was like, look, I know Vegas isn't happening, and I'm sorry about that, and that's, and da. So, so Jill texts me. We weren't texting, we weren't talking or whatever. And she sent me a note Tuesday morning, because she's supposed to fly there Tuesday morning. But I told her already, I was like, nah, don't, that's not a thing. And I understand that this fell apart and it's a great tragedy. And here's a song that you'll think of me always. And oh my God. And so I passed it to two of my best friends and we put it in Jill's locker. So she read it in study hall. Fucking unbelievable. Fucking 15-year-old idiot. See, I didn't do this shit in high school. I didn't date. So I got to do it now. Now when I'm 48, I got to go ahead and be that guy. I got, psst, do you like me? Circle one. Believe me, I got videos that prove she likes me. Okay, I mean, seriously, there's no reason for me to fucking go, do you like me? Circle one. No, go ahead. Go scroll through your phone. You'll see that she likes you. You guys are pretty close. So, dear Jill. Fucking stupid. Fold it up. Make one of those poppers. Tell a fortune teller. Oh, red, blue. All right, so Tuesday morning, I'm at my house and I get a text and it's just a picture of a fucking flight board. And it says, "Call me, please." Oh, all right. I mean, I don't know why you're at the fucking airport, but all right. And I should tell you this: all of these times that I walk away, I know I'm coming back, and all these times that I walk away, it's easier to walk away because I know that she'll be there when I come back. I know that sounds strange. It's like this mental vacation where I can go, all right, go take 4 days for yourself and then come back to your girlfriend and all of that stuff. And I don't mean to make it sound like it's arduous. I mean, we have amazing times until we don't. And then I fracture and I make it bigger than it usually is, and that happens. So I write her this note and I tell her, and then so Tuesday morning, call me please. Literally, it's a picture of a flight board. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking weird. But at the same time, I'm elated because it means she's coming. I want to pretend like I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that didn't I just write a note saying that you shouldn't come? But instead I'm just like, oh my God, she's coming. I'm so happy. So I call her and she says, hi, honey. And I said, hi. And she goes, yeah, I just wanted to tell you that, the flight is overbooked. So they're telling me, they're looking for volunteers. And we had always talked about if we wanted to do that, we should do that because of what they're offering. It makes sense. And we could always kill time in the airport, but I don't know if you want to do that, if it messes up your day. Are you still picking me up in Burbank? Like she acted like the letter I sent didn't even exist, because in truth it didn't. I mean, she knows I want her here. So I said, I went, well, what are they offering? It turns out they were fucking offering $600 in flight credit, dinner, lunch and dinner in the airport. And all she had to do was delay her flight they said delay it by 6 hours, I think it was, or there's a flight that we could possibly get you on in 2 hours. We'll try, but we can't guarantee anything. She's like, honey, what do you think? I said, fucking do it. $600? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. So she went to the guy, and of course the Southwest guy is just like, well, you just sit here with me. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you. And he makes her stand. She's like, honey, this guy's pretty weird. I'm like, of course he is. You're fucking hot. So basically she did. She changed it. She got $600 and a flight. Then they got her on the flight 2 hours later. And so she was here by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was, or 5. And then I went and picked her up because I wanted to see her more than anything in the world, and it was great. I mean, and then she came here, and we, I practically pulled over in a parking lot to have sex with her because I hadn't seen her in fucking forever, because you cannot possibly overestimate the lust I have for this woman. And then I get her home, and I was happy. I was happy, and she was happy, and I said, let's just be happy. Let's just do that. Let's do that happiness thing that I hear so much about. And everybody's like, yeah, that's a great plan. And Jill's like, that's all I want. I just want to be happy. And I say, great. And she goes, well, what did you mean by that? And I go, great. I want to be happy too. Well, no, you didn't say that. You said great. And then, of course, we fight for 9 hours. She didn't really do that. But that's what I mean. It's just like that sort of thing where I'll say the wrong thing or she says something and then it turns and they're in and they're off. But that's what we're working on. So she's here for a couple of days. We have an amazing couple of days here. We went to this place called the Little Jewel of New Orleans. We had a big shrimp sandwich. We went out at the pool and put on a show for my neighbors that I'm probably going to hear about at some point, I would imagine. And just had fun. It was just really a great time. So I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not terrible, but I just can't. I don't care really, but I do. All right. So then we got to fly to Vegas. And we went to we're flying out of Burbank. It was super easy, and we flew because we're going to our friend Derek and Mara's wedding, which I talked a little bit about last week. So we fly to Vegas, and this was our first experiment with Airbnb. If you know what Airbnb is, Jill and I usually go and we stay in a hotel wherever we go. But then we were planning all these trips, and we're just like, well, fuck, the hotel rooms were because we were going to Vegas for like 4 nights. It was $250 a night at the Hiltons, where I'm like a Hilton Honors member. And so then we were looking at other stuff. Even the fucking Circus was like $180, $150 a night. It was averaging out to like $165 a night, $175 a night. And we were just like, man, that's a lot of dough. So why don't, because again, and also I should say this about Vegas, we don't fucking gamble. Jill and I don't gamble, and we don't go to nightlife. We're kind of homebodies in that we go to the movies and shit like that. But I mean, I don't need glamorous nightlife and all that bullshit. We like the pool. We went to pool and a hot tub, and that's all we ever really need. So we started talking. We go, what about Airbnb? She goes, I've had friends who do it and they really like it. I said, well, people have suggested it to me. They'll write me. They'll go, hey man, if you come to town, you just Airbnb. It saves you money on a hotel. So we decided to look. So she signed up, and she had been looking already beforehand. So I signed up as well. We start looking, and there's places all over Vegas that are, $200 a night or whatever. Well, we find this dude, and it was like $50 a night. And we went to look at it, and he's like, my name is, well, I don't want to say his fucking name, but he's like, I'm this guy, and I've got a place, and it's very close to the Rio. You can just walk over and take the shuttle everywhere. So you don't have to worry about getting a car. And I have a pool and a hot tub, and it's just an apartment. It's nice. You'll have your own room and your own bathroom, and so Jill and I are in a kitchen, and we're like, does this sound like the move? I mean, this sounds like something we could do. Because overall, it was $233 for the week for all 4 nights combined. $233. And I'm like, that's just as much as one night in a hotel. She goes, well, I'm willing to do it if you're willing to do it. I go, yeah, but this guy's going to have like a freaky camera in the room or some bullshit, right? I mean, these people have to do that. They have to do... I don't trust fucking anybody. You know me. I mean, I watch a bunch of murder shows and shit like that. I'm just waiting for the terrible thing to happen. And she's like, well, I don't know. I go, well, if he's got a camera, he's got a show. So that's all I fucking know about. She's like, well, no, I'm sure it's fine. And we said, okay. All right, we did it. We booked it. Airbnb. So we fly to Vegas. We contact the guy, and we wanted to. He said our flight landed at 1, and he's like, well, you guys can come in around 4. So I texted him. I go, look, we're actually getting there early, man. We would really like to come in and even just to drop our stuff off or whatever. And he didn't get back to me, but he said, oh, right around 3 would be fine, 2 or 3. And so we went out, we ran some errands and we went and bought fucking bottled water and all sorts of shit. So we pull up at his apartment, and he's because he said, he goes, hey, I'm right by the Rio and the Gold Coast. You can go over there and take their shuttles. It's great. The guy's like a mile from the Rio. And it's just not an easy walk. I mean, we know that. So that's the first red flag. I mean, because you're walking on Flamingo, which is fucking, it's street. There's all, because I made that walk before. I walked once from the fucking MGM to the Rio. And it's just, you're inches from the road. People are whizzing by you going 45 miles an hour. It's just a death walk. So when I see the Rio, I'm like, well, he's supposed to be close. And then we keep driving it. We go up like 3 more stoplights. I'm like, this isn't fucking close. I mean, the Gold Coast is closer to him, but still, they don't have a fucking shuttle that goes everywhere. So we pull up, and he's off on this side street. And we pull in, and it's just an apartment complex. And that's fine. And then so I call him, and I go, hey, where am I parking? What am I doing? He goes, oh, yeah, just go ahead and park anywhere, right down there, and I'll come down and meet you. So he told me to park under this canopy. We did. Oh, and first of all, when we arrived, we were going to take the shuttles and Ubers everywhere. It's Vegas, man. There's Ubers. There's shuttles. We'll do that. And plus, the guy said we could walk over to the Rio. And so Jill and I land, I should tell you this, before we even look at anything. We land in the airport. I said, are we getting a car? And she goes, well, I don't know. Are we getting a car? I don't know if that makes sense. And I go, well, because we had plans on Friday that we had something that we planned to do, and it was going to be far away. And I was like, well, it would make more sense to drive to that. You know what I mean? I mean, the Strip is one thing, but I mean, we can take shuttles and cabs and Ubers, but if we're going out of town on Friday, we can't do this. So she's like, well, I was thinking about it too, and cars seem, fairly affordable. And I said, well, we're saving so much money on the fucking Airbnb. Why don't we do it? She's like, you know what? That makes sense. I said, because we're gonna have to go to get bottled water and sunscreen and fucking and shampoo, because we always do that when we get there. She's amazing. We go out, we'll buy full bottles of shampoo and conditioner, and then she mails them back to herself because she can't bring them on the plane. To her, it's like, she's like, yeah, we'll just mail it back to the house. We'll have it at the house. I'm like, dude, that's fucking genius. I didn't even think about it. Until the time we did it in Phoenix, and we were in a huge fight and silent, and I'm driving around looking for a post office. That was not fun. All right, so no, we don't fight all the time. So we pull up at this dude's house in our rental car after shopping at Target, and he comes down to meet us. And let's call this guy Keith. Keith comes down to meet us, and he's barefoot, which that's just a red flag from the fucking jump. Put on some goddamn shoes. You're a grown man. He's wearing this shirt that's got like paint stains all over it. He's got raggedy jeans. He's got solid white hair, and he's just craggy face. He's probably like 60, 65. And he's just like, hey man, what's going on? He's like this weird hippie dude. And we go, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, nothing. He goes, you guys are okay? You need any help? And I'm like, well, yeah, we got a bunch of stuff here. And he's like, oh, okay. Never moves. Does not come over to grab anything. He just asked if we needed help. I said, well, we got a bunch of stuff. And he says, oh, okay. He never moves. And his first thing he asks is, he goes, hey, do you guys, are you like poker players? And I went, oh, because again, I don't know this fucking guy. And now I'm like, what, are you going to suck me into a game now? Is that what you have an Airbnb so you can pull people into your game, your rigged game? And you got 4 dudes who come over and pull a fucking train on my girl while I'm getting robbed at the poker table? What the fuck? I'm like, again, because I'm waiting for all bad things. So he's like, you guys poker players? And I'm like, no. I go, we don't really gamble. I go, why? Do you have a game in your house? And he goes, oh, no, I'm only asking. He goes, because most of the people who actually rent my room, they're all these poker players who stagger in drunk at 5 a.m. from playing, and I'm just wondering what I'm going to get out of you guys. And I go, well, we don't gamble, we don't do any of that, and we don't drink, so you're not going to have to worry about that. And he's like, oh, okay, well, that's great, and I'm originally from San Francisco, and you be him, or no, you be me, and your line is, hey, we love San Francisco, okay? I'm originally from San Francisco. I just moved down here because my son is here, and I've got other relatives that are close. But I was in San Francisco a long time. I was in San Francisco, and I was there doing all this stuff, and I was, I had a job up there. I was a photographer, and then I was there, and then I moved here for no reason. I came here because my kid is here, and it's just really hot. It's a lot different. The weather's a whole lot different. When I got to tell you, the weather here is super crazy hot. And up in the Bay Area, literally, he's not acknowledging our presence. He goes off on a monologue about San Francisco and how much he loved it and how hot it was in Vegas and how it wasn't that hot there. And he was a photographer and he had a kid here. I mean, And Jill and I are just fucking, I got a case of water and 2 suitcases, my laptop, and she's got her shit, and it's 100 fucking degrees, man. Grab something. So we got to walk across the courtyard, and again, he's barefoot, and, you know, there's dogs. I mean, that's just a dog toilet. You know that. And it's just so nasty. So he walks up, and we got to go upstairs to his apartment. We walk in, and the whole place smells like fried food.
Oof.
Like he had just made a couple of pan-fried steaks or something. I don't know. But we walk in, and it's just an apartment. And he's like, all right. He goes, my bedroom's over there. And he goes, but your room is right here. And he opens the door. And it is an air mattress with a handkerchief on it that's posing as a sheet. And then there's a mounted wall television. That's it. That's all that's in the room. So we start bringing our stuff in, and we're like, okay, well, thanks, dude. You know, we'll get untracked here. We got to figure out what we're doing with our days. Like, all right, well, if you need anything, you let me know. And he goes, here's your bathroom. And he walk into the bathroom, and it's a bathroom in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment. Okay, there's a toilet, there's a shower. On the sink, there's a used bar of soap.
Oh, we have a winner.
It's not a new one. It's out. He's put it out. He's put it out for us with and no washcloths. And then there's 2 towels hanging up. He goes, these are your towels. And I said, great. And there's the used bar of soap. And then there's it's Palmolive. It's the 99-cent store fucking soap. What are you doing? So we look at that, and Jill and I just kind of catch each other's eye like, oh, this was, all right. Well, all right. Because it had a pool and a hot tub. It's all we fucking needed. We said, because when we looked, we go, it's got a pool and a hot tub. For that amount of money, that's all we really needed. So we go in the room. And we put all our stuff, you know, we kind of get it. And I look in the closet. There's a laundry basket and some hangers. And he pokes his head in, and he goes, all right, you know, he goes, I got the air on. He goes, but, you know, I turn the air off at night because it gets real cool out here in the desert, you know. So if you want to just open that window at night, that's going to be fine. And in my head, I'm like, it doesn't get fucking cool in the desert in the summer. I've been here. It's fucking 92 degrees at night. So yeah, just be ready for that. You know, I got the air on now, but whatever you guys need. And there's no fan in the room. There's not a fucking thing at all. There's a window, a fucking pool toy, and a goddamn mounted wall television. So he closes the door, and he gives us a key, and he's like, all right, here's your key. And I close the door, and I lock it, and I look at Jill, and you know, I haven't had my hands on her in fucking forever at that point. So I'm like, well, I just grab her, and that's it. We just go off. And I get her naked, and I pin her up against the fucking wall, and things start to happen, folks. I deliver my own bomb-carrying robot into the room. I pick her up, I toss her on the bed, and she even said, she's like, well, I mean, you know, we got to be quieter. I'm like, fuck that. I don't care. It's, you know, I paid. I don't give a fuck. I'm sure he's up against the wall with a glass anyway, so fucking let him enjoy it. And we didn't care. So we just went at it for like 2 hours. It was fucking awesome. And then we're just laying there. And so we're laying there, and she's just like, honey, I don't know, when I can walk again, are we going to go to the pool? And I'm just like, yeah, we should do that as soon as I can move. You know what I mean? And I turn the TV on, and there's only like 30 channels, and then it says, you must have the higher tier for these channels, and they're not there because he doesn't pay for the higher tier because he's fucking Keith, who can't even afford shoes. Fuck. So my favorite thing is that we're just naked in this guy's house, and I'm just laughing about it. Like I can't even. Seconds ago, you know, we were on an airplane, and now I'm naked in some stranger's house. I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad life. So we're laying there on the bed, and I said, look, I got to call Dave about artwork because I had texted him about getting the artwork for the show, and so I called him up, and Jill was getting ready to go to the pool. And I said, hey, what's happening? I said, you know, I'll talk real quick. I said, but I'm in Vegas. And he goes, what are you doing in Vegas? I said, well, I just needed to get away. I didn't, you know, whatever. I didn't want to be at home. I go, I needed a few days away. And because I actually forgot about the wedding. Like I didn't even, you know. So he's like, all right, well, what's going on? So we talked about artwork, and he goes, well, why are you in Vegas? Are you alone? And I go, no, I just needed to get away. I'm just here for a couple days. Because it wasn't a conversation I wanted to have with him at that point. You know, I didn't want to be like, oh, well, I'm here, and then it's this, and I was fighting with Jill, but now I'm not, and then we're here, and I didn't want to go into it. So I was just like, look, it's just I'm here, and we talked about the artwork, and then I hung up. And Jill is sitting there, and she goes, you didn't want to tell him you were with me, did you? And I did not say a word. I sat in silence because I did not want to have a fight. I didn't want to have an argument. I wanted to have a good time, especially after we just christened Vegas. I don't want this to turn into a thing. I want to just have fun. That's all I want. I don't want any more drama or bullshit. I just want to be happy. But at the same time, if I had asked her a question and she just sat in silence and never answered me, I would have lost my fucking mind. I recognize that completely. Absolutely. So I sat in silence because that was my strategy. Was I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to do anything that's going to trip it up and cause me to have a problem. And she just looked at me and she just goes, are you going to answer me? I said, I don't want to fight with you, Jill. And she goes, we don't have to fight. Just answer my question. And I said, no, because if I answer your question, we're going to wind up having a fight. I go, can we just have a good time? Can we just detach from this and have a good time? She's like, fine. And then she shuts down. And she starts to get her bikini, and she starts to get ready to go to the pool, and she starts doing all that. And I'm just laying on this pool toy, and I'm just hoping it'll go away. Just hoping everything will go away. I'm hiding under the very thin coats that this guy provided, and I'm hoping that we will just be all right. But at the same time, I know I fucked up because this is my fault. Because if I answer the fucking question, this doesn't turn into a thing. But what I'm hoping is that because I even said to her, I go, can we not do this part? Because we were doing good. Everything was fucking great. And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. And then, but I know she's not fine. And again, I recognize why she's not fine. Again, I didn't answer her fucking question. And I just sat there in silence like she wasn't more than an answer. It was fucking stupid. So she's getting ready, and then I put my arms out. Like, come on over and lay on top of me, and then pick me up, and I'll change in my trunks. And she looks at me, and she goes, what? I go, come over here. Just give me a hug. Let's pick me up. And she goes, no, I'm okay. Are we going to the pool, or am I just going to sit here, or what are we doing? And I just went, fuck it. I at that point, because this is what I do. I hope that things are going to go my way, and when they don't, I explode for about 5 seconds, or 10 seconds, or a day. So I just went, fuck it. Because look, Mike lives matter. Why you treat me like this, man? Mike lives matter. But I understand why she's pissed. But I don't understand why she has to be pissed. Like, this is one of the things that's central to our conflicts. Like, she will get upset, and I'm just like, well, don't be upset. You shouldn't be upset, because I don't think you should be upset. But that doesn't get to the point of why she's upset. It's just me saying you shouldn't be upset. She does the same thing with me. Well, why are you pissed? Well, because I'm pissed about this. Well, you shouldn't be. Well, but I am. I'm fucking mad. What do you want me to do? So I get pissed, and I fucking jump off the bed, and I grab my suitcase, and I rip it across the fucking room. I basically just lift it up, and I slam it on the bed, which scares the shit out of Jill. She's so small, and she's been around me when I've done that shit. When she saw me throw a fucking wallet, she saw me punch a fucking wall. She's seen me try to tear blinds off of a window to climb out it. She's seen me fucking frothing at the mouth mad, like angry, and because I will swallow it for a month, and then all of a sudden it'll just fucking explode, and I just vomit rage and anger all over the place, and then she will shrink and start to cry and get sad, and then I recognize what's happening, and I try to fucking rein it in, and I tell her it's okay, because she's fucking scared of me. She told me she's scared of me. I don't want her to be fucking scared of me, huh?
You're big. You're intimidating. But you are to some, to a small girl, you're intimidating.
But I would never do anything.
That's not the fear.
I know.
The fear is just crazy monster.
I know.
Yeah.
And whatever she's dealt with in the past probably influences that and speaks to what I'm doing. And she's asked me. She's been like, don't do that. 'Cause we'll be fighting and she flinches. And I, it's funny, rather than go, oh my God, and hug her and go, I get angry that she flinches because I'm like, you really think I would do something physical? That's crazy. Yeah. So I get insulted and upset rather than go, oh shoot, that's fucking affecting her in a weird way. And on top of it all, I said shoot. Who the fuck says shoot? But it was just, so I have to recognize that, and again, that's my shit that I gotta fix. So fucking, so I grab the fucking suitcase and I body slam it on the goddamn bed, and she's just, I see her shoulders literally like go up. She's tense. I change into swim trunks, and there's nothing better than being mad and naked. You know what I mean? That's just fun. The two of us are still sticky and smell like one another, but now we're just fucking angry and silent. So I throw on the trunks and I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking get out of here. I go, we didn't even fucking make it till 4:00. And that, was not helping. And then I'm trying to detach it. And the way I deal with shit like that is sarcasm. You know what I mean? And then she thinks that's mean and cruel. And I'm like, that's not mean and cruel. It's just fucking me, man. It's who I am. And then we go down to the pool and she's talking and saying things and I'm refusing to engage. And she's saying things that are trigger points for me, and I don't want to fight, but I do want to fight, but I don't. And then we're down at the pool in the fucking heat. She didn't put my sunscreen on, which is because usually I put her sunscreen on her and she puts sunscreen on me, and it's very sexy and awesome. But instead she gets down and just goes right in the pool, and she only goes in the pool with me because whenever she doesn't like water or cold water, so I'll get in first and then I'll hold her and I'll take her step by step into the water. And it's just, she didn't do any of it. She just ignored me and went out in the pool, and I'm like, fuck, of course. So I got to put my own fucking sunscreen on, and then I lay down, and then she gets out of the pool, and I'm like, well, of course if you want to go swim, have fun without me or whatever the fuck. And then just all this bullshit, all the shit that, because again, I wrote a letter that she ignored, and she came out, and I was like, let's ignore all the stuff from the letter. But I've still got it all pent up inside me, and now I'm like, fuck it, let's deal with that fucking letter now. I mean, like, I'm so... all this shit, and then I just unload on her, and then we're at a pool. We're at the pool at this fucking guy's apartment complex. I throw a bottle of water across the fucking way, and then there's people with kids out there, and I didn't care. I'm just like, well, if you fucking, I'm swearing and I'm loud, and I get up and then she says some shit to me, so I go to leave. Because that's what I do, because I don't want to fight at the pool. So I get up to leave, and I'm grabbing my water wings like a dumb fuck. I'm putting on my fucking surf shoes, and I'm going to grab a towel, and I'm going to get out of here. Oh, by the way, we went out to the pool. We go, hey, you got towels for the pool? He goes, yeah, they're in the bathroom. And we look around. The only towels are the ones for the shower. I go, well, these are the shower towels. He goes, no, those are your towels. You can use them for everything. So I'm going to go out to the pool in the chlorine with sunscreen all over me, and I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to shower with that fucking towel? Fuck you, Keith. Get me a fucking towel, man. So we go out to the goddamn, and I wind up ready to leave. And I get up and I start to storm off, and she comes up to me and she goes, don't leave, please don't leave. And she's standing in front of me. She goes, let's talk. You want to talk? You wanted to talk? Let's talk. And I'm just going, just get the fuck out of my way. I'll go. It doesn't matter. You don't want to talk really. And I go, no. And she's like, no. So then I'm up against the fucking fence, right? And she reaches on either side of me. Remember how I put her in a little cage at that fucking concert so nobody could touch her? She puts me in a cage on the fence. Yes.
Oh, that's so cute.
So I'm. You were
infuriated, weren't you?
Well, I can't do anything. I gotta have my arms at my side and just fucking stand there.
Oh.
And I'm looking at her face, and I go to walk away, and she's like, "No, you're not leaving." And she like bodies me up against the fence, and she's holding me in there. She's, "You're gonna talk to me. We're gonna deal with this." And I'm like, "No, I don't know. I'm leaving. It's fine. You want to say those? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna drive away. And nobody's ever gonna see me because nobody loves me ever." So she's got me pinned up against the fence. And we're talking, and then it's not really getting anywhere because I'm not listening. So then I start vomiting. Again, this is the thing. I have unresolved wounds from 2 years ago. So I'll bring that shit up. And she's just like, you can't do that. That's not fair fighting. Deal with the fire in front of you. Don't bringing up all this other shit, and just fucking deal with it or don't deal with it. But fucking, you got to learn what you can live with. So that shit comes out. But then the thing is, because something that happens yesterday makes me think of the thing that happened 2 years ago, and it just tears off the scab of the old wound. It just fucking happens. So I'm trying to unleash that on her, and I'm telling her, and she's got me pinned up against the fence, and I got my hands at my sides. I'm naked, basically. I'm just in swim trunks, and she's in a bikini, and she's got me pinned up against the fucking fence, and we're just arguing. And these kids are just swimming. So finally, she lets me go, and I lay down in the chair, and then she lays down in the chair, and she's like, "Are we going in?" I go, "Yes, let's go in." And she goes, "Well, I didn't say we had to go in." And I'm like, "No, let's go in. You want to go in?" And it's all that bullshit. So we get up and we go in the apartment, and it's, I think it's like 7:00, or not even. It might not even be 7:00. It might be like 6. And we get into the room, and Jill won't talk to me. She's completely silent. And she lays on the air mattress as far away from me as she possibly can. And I lay on the air mattress, and we spend our first night in Vegas in silence in Keith's bedroom. Completely quiet. I mean, I'm just laying there, because I'm like, just don't. And so we did. She went to sleep, and I drifted off eventually, and her sleep schedule is weird. Like, she'll fall asleep early, and then she gets up at like 4 a.m, and then she's up till like 7 without me because I'm asleep. But she didn't want to wake me up anyway because she didn't want to fucking talk to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter. So I finally wake up at like 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning. And, we had slept. And by the way, I should say this. I woke up at 4 in the morning in a pool of sweat. He turned the fucking air off.
Oof.
Middle of the night. Keith, you fucking rat. It's 90 degrees outside. And so now in a room already packed to the gills with tension, now it's just filled with fucking swampy humidity as well. Like we're just, as if we didn't feel uncomfortable enough.
Ugh.
So we wake up and, I swim over to her and I say good morning in the fucking steam. But she wakes up in the morning, and this is the thing. Like I'm always like, well, you sleep on it and everything's okay the next day and everything should be fine. No. Jill's really good at not doing that. Jill's really good at still being mad, or not even mad. She's so used to fending for herself that she then decides it's just me and I will fend for myself. And then I say to her, I go, that's you just distancing yourself from me, like when I run away from you, and she doesn't see it that way. And that's fine. That's all shit we'll work out on a couch at some point, I'm sure. So she wakes up and she's just the way she was the night before. She's like, oh, did you want to go to the pool or did you want to just stay in here? I mean, whatever you want to do. And I'm just like, I don't fucking care. Let's go to the pool because I can't sit in this fucking bedroom another minute. So we go down to the pool and we get in the hot tub. And she says, what's the big surprise for listeners next week? And I said, pardon me? She goes, well, you said at the end you had an email and you were going to tell people about it the next week. What's that about? I said, I'm going to Kuwait. She goes, when? I said, I'm going in August. She goes, why? And I explained. So she didn't, because you hadn't talked, so she didn't know anything about it. She knew when Ahmad first contacted me, but she didn't know anything about the trip.
Oh, great.
She found out about, well, we weren't talking, so she found out about it on the show. So I explained what it was, and then she was like, do you even know this guy? I go, no. She goes, why are you going? I said, I do it for the fucking story. I go, plus he paid me a fee, and he's covering expenses. And she said, well, but you don't even know this person. I said, I don't. And she goes, well, if I did that, you'd go fucking crazy. And I go, it's a little different. She goes, no, it isn't. I go, oh, it's completely different. I said, if there was a man who wanted you to go stay with him for 10 days, it would be a little different than a guy wanting me to go visit him for 10 days. I go, plus I have a show. People want to hang out with me for some reason. For you, it would be a little different. She's like, no, it isn't. It's exactly the same thing. And I'm like, okay. And then we decided we wanted to have it out. So I'm in a hot tub, which is, by the way, cold. There's no heat in the hot tub. There's bubbles, but it's not warm. I guess they figured it would be warmed by the 112-degree sun. But it's now 8 a.m. There's a guy with a leaf blower. She's in her bikini. I'm again in my trunks. And we just start going at it at the pool. And we're just dropping bombs on one another. Like, well, you do this. Well, you do this. Well, I do this. Well, why should I do this? Well, why should I do this when you do this? And I mean, and then I get out, all right, I'm leaving. And I climb out of the hot tub to leave. She goes, will you just fucking talk to me? Will you just not run away? And I'm like, but you're not listening to me. The only way I can be listened to is by walking the fuck away. And so then I sit down again. I get back and I go, what, fuck this. I want to sit in the hot tub. I don't want to go inside. I hate that fucking room. So I sit there. So we have an argument at the hot tub. We go over and we lay in chairs. We argue there. We go back and she's getting out and she's walking and we're just fighting. We're just fighting. And I got to be honest with you, man. When I see her in a bikini, the last thing I want to do, I want to use my mouth, but not for arguing. That's not it at all. I mean, I just want to start at her toes and work my fucking way up for about a week. I mean, seriously. But at this point, I didn't fucking care. I didn't care. And I don't think she cared either. She wanted to solve shit or just fucking break it, And so we just started going at it. Well, I didn't know. So we start going at it at the pool. And I mean, I'm like, well, you did this. And she's like, well, you did this. And I'm bringing up shit from 2 years ago. And she's bringing up shit from a couple years ago. And we're going back and forth. And then it would be quiet. And then I would get smug and I'd laugh about something, because I that's who I am. I'm sarcastic in the middle of a fight. And I'm like, I go, can you imagine these people just hearing this at 8 in the morning? I go, we're lucky the leaf blowers under the cops would be here by now. And again, we were just yelling. I wasn't like apoplectic yelling, but there was bass in our voices, man. And we were going at it. So we went at it down by the pool and I thought we reached an accord and then we didn't. And then we got in the pool and I swam up to her and I was like right next to her and she didn't touch me, but I didn't touch her. But we talked a little more and then she said something that I didn't like and I swam away. And, it was just this weird relationship summit at this fucking weird Airbnb apartment's pool. So finally, after 2 hours at the pool, 2.5, I'm like, look, I'm going to go in. It's getting, because I want to get the sunscreen. It's hot. And we went to the apartment. I should tell you this too. I forgot. They pan-fried food the entire time we were there.
Oh.
He pan-fried food for breakfast. He pan-fried food for dinner after we arrived, even though they pan-fried it for lunch. And when we were in the middle of ignoring each other the first night, I got up and I poked my head outside to use the restroom. And all I could smell was like fried cabbage and weed. They were smoking dope. So I come around the corner. It's like his son and his daughter and his girlfriend. And I said, hey, I'm Mike. And they introduced themselves. And I said, all right, just wanted to tell you who I was. And I went back in the room. But I mean, it was like there's weed smoke. I mean, it was just, they were getting high on the porch, but it blew in. But then I'm trying to think about, well, Keith's obviously asleep in his room. So they're going to sleep in the living room? Or are they going to sleep in his room on the floor? And this guy and the girlfriend? I didn't know the fucking arrangement. It was terrible. So we have this fight at the pool, and then we go back inside, and we're in the room, and I'm looking for flights. Like I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm gonna fly home to California. So I start checking those out, and she's just like, well, I guess you're gonna run away again. You're gonna look for. I go, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not dealing with this. I go, this is stupid. I should have never came. I go, I sent you a letter that told you not to come. And she's just like, well, we need to fucking talk about this stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, but we kind of don't. I just wanted to have fun this weekend. I don't want to engage. And she's like, yesterday, you fucking purposely didn't say you were with me. You did not talk about me. You did. And then I asked you about it and you ignored me. And this is like the 8th time she said it. And finally the enormity of it kind of hit me. And she just goes, if I did that, you'd go crazy. And she's right. If she talked to someone and just went, yeah, no, I'm just on the road, by myself. But then I was like, but there are times you've done stuff like that. And it's this weird double standard. Well, fuck, it's a trick bag, folks. So we start talking some more in the room, and then we start yelling in the fucking room. And I lose my mind. And she says, you did this and you did that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. And we're going at it for like hours. 4 hours and I start yelling, and at one point I go to fucking walk out, and she blocks the door, and I reach and I grab the fucking doorknob and I open the door, and she slams the door shut, and she's like, you're not leaving, just fucking talk to me. And I'm just like, and I start pacing back and forth in the fucking room because I can't control myself because I'm a fucking psycho. And I'm just like, no, you don't get to fucking say that and not have me. And like, there are things I'm not telling you because it's none of your fucking business, but at the same time, just know that there was an argument about our relationship that was going on. And I go, there's things you can't fucking say, and you say that shit, and you got to fucking take that back. And I go, I'm getting the fuck out of here if you really believe that. And it was just this huge fucking, but it broke the dam. Because then I'm pacing, and she wouldn't let me out of the room, and then she's like, will you just stop, just relax. So I relax, and I sit down, and we talk for hours, and we're yelling for hours, and we're going at it for hours, and then we reach like an accord. And I'm like, well, and she looks at me and she says, I'm going to say something, and I'm hoping you don't run out the door, but I have to say this. You don't know how stressful and how much pressure there is in talking to you sometimes, because I think I'm going to say the wrong thing and you're going to go away. You say you want me to check in with you in the morning when I go to work and check in with you at night when I go to bed, and I just think that that's such pressure that you need to hear from me all the time, that you're like smothering me. And when she said it, she's like, I think you're going to leave if I say this. And I went, oh my God, no. I feel the exact same fucking way. Because if you don't hear from me for like an hour or 2 hours, you write me and you're like, is everything okay? Oh yeah, because I haven't heard from you. And it makes me think that I have to tell you where I'm going. But I do. I want to keep you safe. So I'll tell you I'm going to the gym, or I'm back from the gym, or I'm getting in the shower, I'm going to work, I'm going here, I'm going there. I check in at night before I go to sleep, and I check in the morning when I wake up. I said, but the weird thing is I ask you to do those things and you say, okay. And then when you don't, it makes me feel there's a double standard, and I feel like a pussy, like I got to come to you and tell you everything I'm doing, but you don't have to fucking tell me a thing. She goes, well, that's not it at all. I said, okay, well, that's how I feel. I go, but everything you just described is exactly the way I feel. She's like, well, I thought you were going to get out of here when I said that. I go, no, it's what I feel too. And that kind of broke the ice. So then we were able to kind of really talk about things that bothered us, and this and that, and we were really connecting. It was fucking amazing. It took 6 hours. But finally, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon, and she just lays down on top of me on the bed, and I'm holding her, and we're exhausted, man, because there's tears and fucking out of breath and still uncertainty about the future, but hope. And that's all you can have is hope. And we're laying there, and then, we just were in the moment for about 15 minutes. We didn't say a fucking word. We just laid there. And I finally looked at her and I said, hey. She said, what, honey? I said, do you want to get the fuck out of here? And she goes, and go where? I said, anywhere but fucking here. Like, I want to move. She goes, I was looking at hotels all morning before we even went to the pool. I said, oh my God. I said, we can't stay here, right? She goes, no, we cannot. I fucking hate it here. I said, we're hotel people, right? She goes, oh my God, yes. We are not Airbnb people at all. So she's like, honey, I was looking at hotels earlier. I have a list of ones that I priced out. I go, I just didn't know if you wanted to go. I go, no, I want to fucking go. So she's got a list. She's already got a list of fucking hotels. We start looking. She's like, what about this one, honey? What about this one, honey? I said, I'm in. I'm happy. And I'm just feeling relieved because I know now that the rest of my trip there, I can stop looking at flights because I was looking at flights. I was pricing stuff to go. And she even said, I know you're looking at flights and you want to get out of here. I understand that. But we didn't. I didn't leave. I wanted to leave several times. I kept trying to leave and she wouldn't let me go. She fucking grabbed me and wouldn't let me go. That was important. And it made me happy. But at the same time, I get on myself where I'm like, this is just fucking cliche that you're going to walk away, dude. You got to cut it out. It's just stupid at this point. But that's what I do when I don't feel like I'm being heard. But that's inside me and that's shit I got to fix. But you don't care. So she looks for hotels. We settle on one. We book it. We're not even fucking, well, maybe. No, fucking she books it. We didn't even shower in this joint. Because again, my fucking towels are covered with sunscreen. So she starts packing. And I go, I'm going to go tell them. So I walk out. They're pan frying lunch. Literally, I'm not even joking. They're cooking again. And it's just, you hear sizzling and smell it. And I walk out. I go, hey, Keith. And he goes, hey, how you doing? And I go, good. And I held up my hand. And he opened, and so he fist bumps me. And I go, no. I go, here. And he opens his hand and I hand him his keys. He goes, what are you doing? I said, we're actually taking off. He's like, well, why? And I go, well, it's just, we're hotel people. I said, this is our first Airbnb experience and it's just different for us. When you turn the air off in the middle of the night, it was kind of the clincher. And he goes, oh man, I'm sorry. You could have said something. I go, no, it's fine. I go, it's your house. I go, but just, we like a bunch of towels and we like a bunch of washcloths and we like a hotel. And it's just, this was a noble experiment, but yeah, we're going to take off. Meanwhile, I'm talking to him. I'm not joking. Jill is running like things to the car. Like we're having this conversation where I'm dealing with that awkward. She's sneaking out under the dead of night. She's the Baltimore Colts. Like she's just fucking loading a van and getting the fuck out of there. And she's going up and down the stairs. And I don't even get to help. She's taking all of our suitcases, everything. And he says to me, well, I'll tell you what, I'm, because he wanted to talk to me the whole time. Like he asked me once when I came in to get sunscreen, he's like, what do you do? And I go, well, I work in Los Angeles. He goes, what? I go, I'm a writer and a lot of other different things. And he just goes, oh, I'm a journalist. He goes, we have a lot of stuff in common we can talk about. And I'm just like, I'm here for 4 days and they weren't meant to be spent with you. I mean, I'm using your bed. That's it. So then when I go to leave, he goes, well, I told you that I do journalism. He goes, I'm a photographer. I'm taking photographs all over the world. So I'm gonna show you these and I want you to pick one. You guys can keep one. And meanwhile, Jill is like running clothes out and everything she can to get to the car. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he busts out the photographs and I don't know photographs. I don't know if they're good or bad, but they're interesting. They're in doorways in Cuba and they're like these, poor kids in the street. And then they had paint peeling off of a fucking building. I don't know. I guess they're poignant. And then he goes, and I really like the ladies. So, and he hands another stack. He's got photos of naked women. One in Ecuador, and I'm sure he bought them off for 10 cents or whatever the fuck. But he starts rolling those out, and I'm just like, that's fucking weird, kind of, right? But then I think to myself, this guy just heard us fuck for 2 hours the second we walked into his room, so he probably knows that I'm not going to be offended by fucking pictures of naked chicks. And that's my favorite thing too, is we left in a day and a half, like a day. It was literally 24 hours we spent in there, and I just figure when we walked out, he had to close the door and just go, that was the weirdest fucking, because we thought it was weird too. But for him, that had to be the weirdest fucking experience of all time. And I want to go on Airbnb and just write the review. Pretty good place to fight and fuck for 24 hours. Like, because that's all the guy heard. Like, literally heard us fuck like crazy when we first got there. And then he just heard us yell and me pacing and slam the door and fucking, that's all he heard. And then long periods of silence. He had to think we were rehearsing a play. Like, literally, it was just... Hey, I Airbnb'd Streetcar Named Desire in my bedroom the other day. Stella! Because that's what it was like. It was nothing but passion and emotion and silence, all in fucking this 24-hour period. He had to be freaked out. So we fucking bailed. We went to a hotel, and then we had an amazing time the rest of the week. And then Jill asked me, she's like, hey, did you review him on Airbnb? And I'm like, no, what am I going to say? I said, I got to ask you this. They just sent me a thing that said, we will not share your feedback with him. Would you think it was good or bad and I said, should I answer that? She goes, well, have you seen his reviews? And I said, no. She goes, a woman stayed there in June and she wrote that it was a nice place to stay, but he told her about the fact that he was a photographer and then he took some nudes, and I guess he offered to show this girl nudes of himself that he had taken as a photographer. And she put it in the Airbnb review that it was really creepy and I was just like, holy fuck. I go, well, then I better tell them that it was bad. I go, well, maybe that's why they're checking with me to see if anything bad happened, because they said they wouldn't tell him about my feedback. So I don't know what Keith's doing, but he's taking photos of himself and showing. And again, it wasn't like he was some strapping Adonis who was like, hey, look at my cock. He was like a creepy dude who was barefoot, who hadn't cut his nails in about a year and a half. And he was just awful fucking, and then nose hair and ear hair. And he was just an old dude. And he was a nice, friendly guy, but not if he's showing fucking naked pictures of himself to the girls who stay in his Airbnb. I mean, that's just fucking brutal. So I'm like, yeah, all right, maybe I guess I will tell him about our fucking stay there. Although I'm sure he's got nothing good to say about us either. They were good loud and bad loud. That's basically what he's going to say. So we left. We went to a hotel, and like I said, we're not Vegas people. So Jill and I checked in. We checked into a hotel called the Downtown Grand, it was very nice. We get into the room, and it was all red, which was really kind of cool. And but I have like a weird nose. Like I can smell shit that nobody else can smell. So I was like, oh my god, oh. I go, do you smell that? She goes, no. And I go, it's right here. Like, put your head right here. And she's like, I don't really smell it. I go, I'm taller than you. Maybe if I lift you up. And I lifted her up. And she's like, I don't smell it. I go, somebody spilled milk in this room. And it's like, it's gone bad. Like, you can just smell it. And then I looked, and on the chair, you could see there was an outline of a stain on the cushion, the seat cushion of the chair. And so I called downstairs. I go, hey, somebody spilled milk in this room, man. You got to fucking come and get this chair. And they said, no problem. We'll send somebody right up. Well, then that night comes and goes. We went out to eat dinner, and we walked around. Then we came back, and it was still in there. The next morning, I just fucking put it out in the hallway. I go, fuck this. I'm not going to I put a fucking giant chair out in the hallway, and I called them, and they came and got it. But we had a great time staying there. We went to the wedding, which I said was amazing. We went and ate at this place called the Hash House. We had this giant breakfast, and I put pictures of that online. If you didn't see it, it was on my Facebook. There was like a fucking Snickers pancake and a giant fucking fried chicken eggs Benedict or whatever the fuck it was. And literally we went out that morning because we'd been at the pool for like 3 hours. We went to eat and we came home, and then Jill we went to bed. Like she's like, I'm just gonna relax because I'm kind of full or whatever. She was in bed for 12 hours. She just wrapped herself around my leg, and I watched TV, and we were in the room. That was the first night was spent in complete silence, with the air thick with the tension of us not getting along and wondering what kind of future we had. And then the third night was spent in complete silence, but absolute bliss and happiness, knowing that we had a future and everything was going to be perfect between us. Now, one of those is far too pessimistic, and one of those is far too optimistic.
You think?
But as you know, I go to extremes. But the difference between having her turn her back to me and sleep as far away as she possibly can, to having her turn toward me with her arms wrapped around my thigh, because that's how big she is. She's just tiny, and she's just holding my leg while she sleeps like Cindy Lou Who as I flip channels and just fucking chug water and eat Pop-Tarts. I would do that forever. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to do anything. We have adventures and we have fun and we go everywhere and do these cool things together, but I would much rather just be in silence with her holding me and me feeling her breathe. That's what I love more than anything in the world. So I tell you this because you've asked, and I've avoided talking about it, but that was not truthful either, to avoid talking about it. And I talk about my life, and so this is my life. My life is my Jill. And she is with me, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to move forward and hopefully do the things we can to communicate with one another better. And I tell you these things for another reason, because we just found out that Jill has cancer. It was a surprise. We did not see it coming. She had an inflammation. She had skin cancer a few years ago, and so she had to have something removed from her face, and it turned out everything was fine. Well, she went to Florida with her son and then saw something on her face, and then it became raised. She said almost within a week it became raised in her field of vision. She saw it. And so when she came home, she immediately scheduled a doctor appointment and went in, and they said, yes, this is skin cancer, and we need to see you again Tuesday, which is today as I record. So we did some Googling, and we looked up terms, and we found some things, and I will tell you, there is nothing harder, nothing more difficult for me than being away from her while this is going on. I told her, I said, I will fly there. What do you need? You need me there? I said, you need me I will walk into every appointment with you. I will hold your hand, and I'll be at your side. She said, no, it's okay. She goes, but if you can text me before I go in. And I said, well, you can FaceTime me in with the doctor. I'm happy to be in the appointment with you. And if you need me there, I'm there. She said, no, it's okay. I understand that you're there and I'm here. But yes, if you could be here for me, text me, call me, that would be. I said, of course. Of course. So she went in today, and she still doesn't have any answers. They went ahead and took more of what was on her. It's on the first one a couple of years ago was on the right side of her face, just below her eye on her cheek. And this one is now on the left side of her face. And I talked to her today. She went in, they took a lot more of it out, and they have to analyze it and figure out what our next step is. And I'm only telling you this because she said it was okay to tell you, because this seems like something that's incredibly private, but she's already shared it via social media. So I said, can I talk about this? She said, sure. And also I say it for another reason, because Jill thinks when I talk about us fighting that everybody thinks that we don't get along or we're going to fall apart, or she thinks that it's bad and it makes us look bad. And I said, no, it makes us look human. It makes us look real, and it lets people understand and relate to us that much more, because everybody fights and everybody has problems and everybody tries to figure out life one step at a time. The important thing is to hold hands and go forward and do it together. So when I did episode 52, a lot of you took it upon yourselves to write her and tell her good riddance and tell her that you were happy that I was gone, or that I was using her, and that it was about time she woke up, and all those things that you said, which were lovely. Well, now I'm asking you to contact her and tell her that you love her and you're rooting for her and you hope that things go well and you're happy for her and you just want her to be happy and you want her to be safe. Let her know that it isn't just a community of people waiting for me to fuck up and lose her.
Aww.
Let her know it's a community of people who are rooting for us to stay together, and understand that it's a journey and sometimes it gets sidetracked, but as long as you're together, it'll all work out well in the end. Write her to let her know that you want her to be healthy. Write her to let her know that you want her to be happy. And write her to let her know that you know, just like I know, that Jill lives matter. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can find me at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. I mean, I'm enjoying saying it like that. And you can find me at all those places and follow me. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork for this show. He's amazing. He does. He's a goddamn savant, is what he is. He's a savant of art and other things. So find him at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and be his friend and his fan and his foe. Be his foe. He needs a foe. He needs a supervillain to oppose him. So go to Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and be his friend there. Go to artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. And you'll find our friend Dave. And he's got plenty of artwork for sale. I think he's still got a Bowie. I think he's still got a Prince. I think he's still got a Keith Moon out there available. I know the Hendrix was sold to our good friend Erica. So if you want to buy those things or have him create custom artwork for you, if you want him to create a Bowie Prince or a Prince Moon, you want to combine all those fabulous artists. If you want him to paint the greatest band that ever lived, let him do it. Pay him to do it, he'll do it. He's happy to do it. That's how he does things. He works for cash like all of us, the rest of us. So get him at artbydmh.com, ARTBYDMH.com. Our friend Ryan Dirks does all of the web stuff for the show. He's cool. I like him. I'll tell you this. Ryan Dirks is cool. He's a part of the band. And the Monster Mash, it is the hit of the land. I don't know why the Monster Mash popped in my head, but I wanted to say it. You know why? Because that line always bothered me. Now everything's cool. Drax a part of the band. I like to think there was a negotiation before that. Like Dracula's just like, he was mad, and then they said, you know what, dude, go ahead and join the band. And they were like, all right, well, that's fine. So now everything's smoothed over because Dracula's in the Monster Mash band. I don't know why I'm talking about the Monster Mash. Go find Ryan Dirks. He's a good guy. The producer of this show is our great friend Lily Von Stupp. She has all sorts of cool things that she can tell you about. You can follow her at plenty of places. First of all, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, and gaze upon its glory and realize you will never be accepted. But still, go and look. She doesn't need any friends. But if you go to Twitter, go to twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, and twitter.com/Boobdini, whom I follow closely, very closely from behind.
Are you on Instagram?
You know what I am on Instagram? It's funny you would answer that. Okay, I'm on I'm on Instagram, and I think I'm Mike40YOB. I think. Let me check. Hold on. Let's do that while we're...
I'm Lily Von Stupp on Instagram, and it's MNTs on Instagram as well.
Okay, Lily Von Stupp at Instagram, and then MNTs at Instagram. And I've had listeners...
You should mention those, because you do use it.
I never use Instagram. I want to, but I just don't. Yeah, I should. I'm Mike40YOB. And then I'll tell you that, it's funny, because Jill's on Instagram, okay? But I found out they notified me. They were like, follow your friends Sharon Houston and Jill on Instagram. I'm like, fucking Jill has an Instagram account? I didn't know that. And that's enough to get me all revved up. So I saw it, and I'm like, oh, so it's private. So I went to follow her, and she didn't click me to follow her. But then she had 15 followers, and she's approving other followers. And I'm like, why the fuck aren't you approving? What the fuck, man? I'm like, hold on, you're on Instagram. You didn't tell me you were on Instagram. And then I tried to follow you, and you won't let me follow you, but you're letting these other people follow you, and you're posting, and so you must see it. You have to see it. So then I don't talk about that for 4 days. And then I called her on Wednesday, and I go, how come you don't approve me on Instagram? She goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. I go, you're on Instagram, right? She goes, yeah. And I go, why didn't you tell me? She goes, well, I don't know. It's just Instagram. And I go, great, but then you didn't approve me to follow you, but you approved other people. She goes, honey, I don't know what's going on here. I go, you know what? I'm breaking up. And I go to fuck, and she goes, don't hang up. Oh my God. I had a fucking dude. I need like a big sumo wrestler to just sit on me when I go crazy. Because it was like for 5 days in my head, I'm sitting on that information. I'm like, why won't she approve me on Instagram? I don't understand why she won't approve me on Instagram. She's approving other people on Instagram. Why the fuck doesn't she want me to follow her on Instagram? And then in my head, I'm like, well, what do you think she's posting nude photos of herself for everybody else but you, man? That's not fucking happening. But I'm not rational. So I'm on Instagram. It's Mike40YOB. Find me on there. That'd be great. So those are plugs, and your plug is Instagram, and you're Lily Von Stupp, and you're also MNTs or Monday Night Tees?
MNTs. Always.
MNTs. So if you want to go to follow us at those places, go ahead. But if you want to write Lily a personal note and find out just how many email exchanges it takes about guns and bombs before she decides that she's done with you, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Psychotic Schmitty. Psychotic Schmitty. All of Mike's merchandise, t-shirts, music, and downloads. All things at a real low price. You can own all episodes. If you go on mystery shirts, maybe you can send some dough.
It's at the Joe Business page, Psychotic Schmitty told me so.
You can shop until the dawn. Use this link for Amazon.
Psychotic Schmitty full of rage. It's at the Joe Business page.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It is, bar none, the greatest burlesque show in the history of burlesque. That includes all your French bullshit and all your nonsense in Ecuador and whoever the fuck else you got going there. Can nonsense shit they're throwing in your face.
Can.
Nope. Can't. That's what I call it. So it's a great show. It's fantastic. Tickets are always available. And our great friend, I happen to know the producer. She's my great friend, your great friend. You love her. You know her, you love her. You can't live without her. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the lovely and talented Lily Von Stupp. Hi, Lily.
Hi!
How are you today?
Off mic, that's how I am today.
Well, it's about time. I had to fight you off.
But I'm making sure I'm speaking louder.
All right. Well, nicely done. And people do appreciate it, as I heard from a lot of people who have opinions. But I'm glad you're here, and thank you. It's very nice. The show is always better when you're involved. So how is the Monday Night Teas going? Who was there last night?
Oh my God, Boobzilla was in town.
Hold on. In case you guys didn't hear that, because she is off mic. Apparently, Boobzilla made an appearance at last night's show.
The amazing Boobzilla.
I see. Well, let's not confuse her with the other Boobzillas out there. This is the amazing Boobzilla. We certainly got to get a claw. If you're Boobzilla, you absolutely need a modifier on your name. So she is the amazing Boobzilla, and it was fun. Whatever Boobzilla does, doesn't she smash shit or do a bunch of nonsense?
She smashes shit with her boobs, and she also puts a baseball bat underneath them and hits balls out into the. And then you can basketball. But the piece de resistance last night, she put her boobs over the edge of a chair, put Sheila Starciani in the chair, and had it lifted off the ground. She literally lifted Sheila Starciani in a chair off the ground
With her tits.
with her tits.
Oh boy.
That is some powerhouse boobs.
You're goddamn right it is.
She.
So this isn't someone who would, the pencil test wouldn't phase this girl, is what you're saying, for Boobzilla.
I don't think if you put a pencil next to one of her boobs, you literally would be like, "Oh no, that's a needle in a haystack." They're huge. They're amazing. They're spectacular. If you like boobs of all sizes, they're fantastic. If you're a bolt-on person, it's not going to be for you, but
I see. But it was amazing, and everybody loved it.
She was fantastic. She got a standing ovation because it was just, people were like, what the hell? That is amazing. Seriously.
Well, that's the good thing is when you see something you had no idea you were going to see. You're just kind of like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you do. It's like, that was amazing. Who would ever think that someone would make a living touring doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's sideshow, it's vaudeville, it's all that
Well,
shit.
just the thought process where at some point she's like, man, my back hurts. These motherfuckers better start earning their keep or I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. And she is one of the kindest people I've ever met. She's just the sweetest. And she was in town on tour with some other people that do sideshow stuff as well. But I only had room for her, so we're hoping to get her back later.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a wonderful show. Burlesque, Pompadorable did some magic stuff. We had a balloon swallower. Heather Henderson sang. I mean, it was an all-around good time.
Good. I'm glad. I'm sorry I missed it. And then next week, from what I understand, is a show that I may have a personal interest in, if that's correct.
You might.
Isn't next week Erotic Titty the Prince show? That's July 18th.
Yes.
Yes, July 18th. Next week is Erotic Titty the Prince show at the Monday Night Teas, and tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com.
Yes.
Always. If you go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas, you can see pictures of the acts who've been there. Pictures of Boobzilla, perhaps?
She's not on the site yet. You'd find them in the Facebook group, though.
All right, yeah. So check those out and go to find pictures of who's coming and who's going and who's been there and who will be back. So tickets are available for Erotic Titty. Do we know who's going to be there yet?
Well, Lux is headlining, of course. Sheila's performing. Egypt is performing. Egypt Black Nile's performing. Saffron Lenore is doing Nothing Compares to You.
Okay.
As,
Well, wait.
Sinead.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Egypt Black now doing Black Sweat?
She is.
Oh, this is worth the price of admission,
Jezebel's
folks.
doing Black Sweat. Egypt Black Nile is doing The Question of You.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I remember I saw these people do things before.
Yeah.
This is well worth your time and your money. If anybody's, you know what, I may go to this show. I just might. We'll see.
should. It's a great show.
Well, I'll get to why in a second. But I mean, I'd love to, and also I love Prince, and I've been there for the other Erotic Titty shows, so maybe we'll see. I don't know. It depends on how much Ubering I have to do, because again, as you know, I'm on a time schedule. But that'll be fantastic. So good. Go to the Erotic Titty Show. Tickets available at brownpapertickets.com. Go to MondayNightTees.com and for any information and cool stuff and photos and of the past, the present, the future. And also follow Lily on all of her Twitter accounts, and you'll learn anything and everything about the shows that are coming up. So go ahead and check those out. Remember, Lily has her Patreon page, and that's patreon.com/Lily.
Yes.
And that's Lili, as we've always stated in this show. Patreon.com/Lily if you want to support Lily and all of her endeavors and help her do all the artwork that she wants to do and bring you some sort of customized stuff. Go to patreon.com/Lily and go ahead and support her there. We'd appreciate it. So would she. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I get into that, the reason I said I'd be at Erotic Titty on July 18th is because I will be there for a show beforehand.
What?
That's right. 2020 has done it again and is appearing there on July 18th. That's Monday night. And it is going to be me, the king of TV, Paul Goebel, and the very funny Kate Willett. Kate Willett, Paul Goebel, me, Mike Schmidt, next Monday night, the 18th, on at 2020 at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica, 7:30?
7.
We say 7 so you get there by 7, but the show's at 7:30, I believe, right?
If you
Yeah.
tell people 7:30, they will show up at 7:30 in LA because people are dumb.
Yes. So the shows are vaguely, it's not going to be any earlier than 7. Does that make sense?
Get there at 7. You can have a drink. Get there at 6:55 and take advantage of our $5 happy hour.
Oh my God, why wouldn't you do that? So come and see me, Paul Goebel, and Kate Willett next week at 2020. It's also Paul Goebel's birthday if you want to bring him a gift.
What?
Here's something I know he likes. TV. Let's bring him and dope. Bring him something TV related and dope.
Nope.
If you can find an old TV guy with Cheech and Chong on the cover, fuck. He's going to be the happiest man alive. So that's our friend Paul's birthday next week. It should be fun at the 2020 performance. I'll be going on. Kate Willett and Paul Goebel. Tickets available at Brown Paper Tickets. Tickets available at our Gold Star $5 link. And also, while you're here, I want to talk about, I'm going to make a 2020 page. Like your Monday Night Tees page.
Good.
And I already asked Max about doing artwork for it, and he said no. So I'm excited. We'll figure out what we're going to put in the thing. I'm teasing. He didn't say no. I asked him about it because we got to do a page. But yeah, it just makes sense because I keep hunting for that Gold Star link every time I try to post it, and I don't like that. I'd rather have it in a centrally located place.
Well, then hunt for the Brown Paper Ticket link because we make more money.
I want people to come. So tickets are available now at Gold Star for $5 or at Brown Paper Tickets for 10 or 12 or whatever the fuck it is, and at the door they'll be 17.
They'll be $7,000.
Yes. So please come to the door at 6:55 because again, no matter what you're spending on tickets, you're saving it on $5 happy hour. Oh, you go bikini strip? You go that landing strip? Well, let me take that picture if you're taking fucking pictures. Okay. Lily's having fun with Travis Bickle, who was sent to me by Jonathan Leonard, by the way. I guess a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about Travis and I said I didn't know who sent it to me. John Leonard sent it to me, and then he wrote me and he goes, "Hey, it was me who sent you Bickle." Like literally, he was so mad. He's like, "Yeah, I sent Bickle." No, he's fucking furious. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I sent Bickle." Okay, well that's just attractive. John Leonard, if you saw what was happening to Travis right now, well, maybe she's gonna take a photo. You gonna post it?
Send it to him.
All right, yeah, just send it to John. There you go. That's a good plan. Oh boy. You know, folks, if you saw my picture with the jokers that Lily posted on Facebook right now, if you saw this photo that she's taking right now, you'd be kind of astonished. Because you know what's funny? That doesn't look like landing strip. That looks like something completely different, actually. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. All right, so anyway, 2020, that show is going to be on the 18th, along with Erotic Titty. It's just playing a whole night there at the 3 clubs, man, on Vine and Santa Monica. I see. Yeah, I see it. So go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, go to the Joe Business page. We've got all sorts of cool stuff there. We've got the download sets available 1 through 8. And like I mentioned, the people who've bought them, I will get them to you soon. We've got the live stuff, Stop Making Schmidt. Schmitty Comes Alive and Schmidt Alive 2. Those are available. And those are from the Podfest, which I'm also going to be appearing at this year. Now, if you're coming to Podfest or you want to buy the streaming links, we've got a code. I don't know if I told you that before. Our Podfest code is 40YOB. Yep, that's what it is. How hard was that? 40YOB is the code for Podfest. Go ahead and get the streaming. Go ahead and get all the tickets you need. Come out and join me and have fun. I'll be there. You know what? The lovely Jill will be there. So if you're writing her notes, then you can actually meet her in person there and shake her hand and see how unbelievably stunning she is in person. So come on out to the show and have fun. It'll be exciting. Use the code to get there, and then we get money and you get fun. Remember, at the Joe Business page, we've got all that stuff for sale. We got mystery shirts, we got Yerk Dirt Dirt shirts, we got CDs, and the most important thing I will tell you about is the Amazon link. Please use the Amazon link. It is really paying off for us. It's doing a cool thing. You get stuff, they get stuff, and we get stuff. So how can you beat that? It's a 3-way monster, and everybody gets something. So go to Joe Business, click on the Amazon link, click through our Amazon store to regular Amazon, and buy all the things you want to buy. I just heard from our friend Andrew Bennett. He bought a drone today on Amazon, and he used our link to do it. So I don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to turn out really good, I'm sure, when the payoff comes.
That doesn't sound good at all.
No, because he also made it like a 40-year-old boy drone, and he's going to deliver the show to people's houses via the drone. I think it's a good plan. So that's available now. Go to the Amazon link and use it, and we get cool stuff, and so do you, and everybody's happy. Uber codes, lifts, nonsense. MileIQ.com sponsors the show. They don't know it, but they do. Go to MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB and use their thing. We've got testimonials from people who've used it and they love it, and that's really great because every time you do, I get $25 in internet fake money, not Bitcoin, but fake money.
What is the $25?
I can use it like at iTunes, or I can use it. It's like a gift card, but it's not cash. So it's not like I can take the cash. I can use it toward like people who they are in, because MileIQ, you get it through if people have asked me, you can get it through the iTunes App Store. But if you want to use the invite code, please do that, which we'd appreciate because we get credit. Go to MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. I'll tell you what, I've never even used it. I've gotten 3, I think, and I've not used them yet. So I don't know. I know it's iTunes, though, so I'll probably be using them in there. So that's MileIQ.com. Again, I swear by it. If you got tax stuff from mileage or whatever, it's a good idea. So go ahead and use it. It's great. If you want to become an Uber driver, like our friend Brian in San Antonio, was it Brian? I think it was. Or should I say, yeah, I think it was Brian. Go to uber.com, and then when it says become a driver, use my code DJZW1YTTUE. That's DJZW1YTTUE. The funny thing is, I've said this on the show how many fucking times. Brian writes me on Facebook, and he's like, hey, what's your code for Uber? I think I might want to start driving. I'm like, all right, buddy. Thanks for listening. But I can't expect him to write down DJZW1YTTUE. I mean, I wouldn't. Fuck, I'm lazy. But if you want to be an Uber driver, do that. I get money, you get money, and everybody's happy. And then if you want to be a Lyft driver, go to Lyft.com and then look for Become a Driver and use the code Mike720057. That's MIKE 720057. Become a driver, make money, make friends, because I'm friends with everybody I Uber drive around. Oh, my God, we're so close. Whenever anybody sees an Uber thing, too, but they throw it in the Facebook, on my page or in the fan club, and they're just like, yeah, like this, Mike, is this the terrible people you deal with? I'm kind of like, yep, yeah, that's who I deal with all the goddamn time. Terrible monsters. So My Like You, Lyft, and Uber are out there. Please use them. They would be great for you to use and become drivers and get me some money because I wanted to be an Uber pimp. That dream died. And I will tell you that I am on this week's Battleship Pretension podcast. What? Yeah, that's right. I'm on there talking about Bone Tomahawk and a bunch of different movies. So, go to battleshippretension.com. What's your thing?
Will you go on and review Asylum?
Oh, Christ. I should, actually. That would have been a funny thing.
You review the movie of you reviewing a movie.
Well, you watched it, right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, Asylum is out there. It's on the Chiller Network. It's playing this month, and there's CDs and DVDs of it available. Not CDs, but DVDs. And I think you can find it on demand. But it's called Asylum, and they still pretend like it's a horror movie, and then my fat head shows up making fun of shit. It's just ridiculous. But Lily had never seen it, so I think she fairly doubted its existence. But then finally...
I didn't. I was thrilled, and I actually wrote you because I laughed so hard. Eddie's like, what the fuck? I couldn't stop laughing when you did the line where you went, what's in there? I hope it's some dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
you were brutally funny.
Well, I was.
It's a pee-pee gun.
He was there.
It was a different kind of humor.
Yes, and I had to pretend like I thought he was funny because I tried to be charitable and generous, and then he did not return the favor, and I was like, "You're a dick," because I was trying to. If it would have been Graham, it would have been that much funnier. It would have been fucking amazing.
Well, it would have been funny.
Yes, agreed. But also, when you go listen to it and hear all that shit and realize I basically wrote it the night before. I mean, because I did my thing where I don't do any work until the night I have to do it, and then I sat up in my hotel room the night before. I got 2 hours of sleep, but I sat and wrote longhand all my jokes on a fucking yellow legal pad, and then walked into the studio and just recorded.
He had jokes written down?
He had a bunch of notes and stuff. Yeah, he did whatever he did, but it was that. So Asylum's out there on Chiller. Go check it out. But no, we did not talk about it on the Battleship Pretension podcast. I know I used the phrase Japanese Johnson in the movie Magoobies. I know I said that. And Tyler just started laughing, and he's like, I don't even know why. Because they're sponsored by a company. I can't say the name because they don't sponsor us, you fucks. But they sponsor Battleship Pretension. And I heard what it was, and he started talking. He said they were talking about Japanese director, like of films of a Japanese director. So then later on, I was like, yeah, I go, fuck, you don't want to offend the guys over at Japanese Johnson in the movie Magoobies. And he's like, what are you talking about? But I had fun, man. David and Tyler always making fun, and we laughed. I don't think poor David talked the entire show. It's just me talking, then Tyler talking, then me talking, and then they give me a wide berth, which is really nice. So I had a great time. Tyler's a good friend, and Tyler and David do a great show at Battleship Pretension. So please check it out. Also, Tyler's got another podcast called More Than One Lesson, and that's about Jesus. So I've never fucking heard it, but I'm sure it's great. Because Tyler has a very special relationship with the Lord. I still don't know why the fuck he's hanging out with me, but he does. So More Than One Lesson, I think it looks like Christian influence in movies and things. Look, I can't even lie. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'll just give my friend Tyler a plug. He does Battleship Pretension, which I really enjoy, and then he does this other one that's somehow about that fake guy named Jesus. All right, so... that guy they all wrote about and created. He's fucking fantastic. So go check that out. I'm on Battleship Pretension. I'm in all of these different places. And I'll tell you this. I don't know if I talked about this earlier because Lily's like, hey, did you talk about this yet on the show? And I don't know if I did or I didn't. Hey, I'm getting sued. Did I mention that to anybody yet? I don't recall if I brought it up here. I'm sitting in my house 2 weeks ago, and I get a knock from a fucking sheriff, and they serve me with papers. Guess who's suing me? Guess. Just guess. Oh, could it be the fucking asshole who cut me off at the airport and I fucking rear-ended him and then my insurance company told him that he wasn't getting any fucking money from me? And they said, if he sues you, don't worry, we'll go to court with you. And I thought, just go away, man. Put your fucking tail between your legs and fucking skulk away. Nope. He actually went to small claims court and filed a lawsuit against me for $1,500. And I should fucking show you his writing. He scrawled like a mental patient all over this fucking form. And it looks like the writings of somebody who had a stroke. It's just all over the place. And he's like, his insurance company won't pay, so he has to pay me. That's literally what is the reason. So it turns out the court date's the 28th. I'm out of town in July. So I called up to try to figure out what I need to do. And they're like, we need to get a continuance. So I called my insurance company. They said, if he sues you, don't worry, we'll go to court with you. We'll take care of it. So I said to them, they made me scan all the papers and send them in. And I said, look, I need a continuance. So they called me back. They go, yeah, we'll definitely come to the court with you. You need to get the continuance on your own, though. We can't do that. Fuck. So this guy's going to cost me a fucking afternoon. I need to go to the courthouse, wait in line, file it, get a fucking continuance. What?
You write down how many hours it took, and and then at the end of it, you ask for fees for legal services and time lost.
Yeah, like that guy's going to give me anything. He couldn't even fucking write with a pencil.
It doesn't matter, because you'll win a judgment against him, and he'll just walk away even more pissed.
Good, fuck that guy. All right, I should do that. But I mean, so I'm getting sued by this motherfucker. And part of me, because again, it's like UFC fighting. Never let it go to the judges. Okay? So if I show up and there's a judge named Mohammed or a judge who fucking happens to be his cousin and I get fucked and I got to pay this guy. See, that's the thing is I just want this guy to go away. Leave me the fuck alone, man. But instead he files a fucking lawsuit. And then, like I said, my insurance company said they'll come with me and fight with me. But it doesn't matter if you get some judge who doesn't like my haircut. I mean, fuck, I don't trust justice in this country at all for guys like me. That's right. White guys have been trampled upon too much in this country. Mike, lives matter, damn it. How many times you heard a white guy goes to court and he gets sentenced to prison? Sure, he murdered somebody, but so what? Let him off. It's a white guy. We run this town, man. This is our fucking neighborhood. Who are the people in your neighborhood? White guys like me. We invented this joint. Came over on a boat with Columbus. We cleaned house. We took all the Indians. And we said, hey, fellas, what do you think of this cliff over here? And we shoved them all off. And then, boom, we started building houses and we owned it. That's all you got to do. So now I'm going to go to court and they're going to be like, yeah, man, you're totally like a jerk and white. And they're going to make me pay him $1,500. I'm going to be sad. And then if I do that, I'll be on the news because I'll get that $1,500 in pennies and have it dumped on his fucking hut or whatever the fuck he lives in. Yeah, take that, buddy. He's fucking poor. He's a poor dude, man. He's all fucking scrawling his writing, and I get the fuck out of here. You don't want any money from me. You don't even want to deal with me. Why are you fucking calling me out? I will pay you at $1,500 a penny. No, fuck that. I will pay him $1,500 in MileIQ.com gift certificates. That's what he'll get. Go ahead, go to iTunes and download a bunch of fucking songs. Go download I Fought the Law and the Law Won. You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail and get on a plane. And then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We are playing on a level that most will never see.